I guess you're not following the Hassan memes. If he has 10,000 viewers or something, everybody asks who rated because his viewership is slipping. Oh man, that's rough, dude. That's really rough. Wait, I'm actually curious. Let me see here. Hassan Abi Twitch tracker. How's everybody doing? Let's look at this real quick. Uh-oh, his viewership is going down a little bit. Looks like it's down 25% since last month. No shot. Average viewers. Oh, man. November of 2020 to December of 2020, he lost 30,000 concurrent average. Picked it back up. What happened in February of 2022? Oh, I guess that would have been the invasion of Ukraine, October of 2023. Guess what happened there? Whenever something horrible happens, he gets a bump in viewership. Well, that's a sharp increase. What's happening? Oh, I guess it's all the Kamala Harris stuff, isn't it? Whoa, chill. I don't know what the warning system is. I'm going to do a quick timeout for you, not because I particularly care that you use that word, but I've been gone for a year. And I don't want to get clapped for someone saying the C word, because I guess that was a bannable offense for a while, and I don't know if that ever got fixed. So I'm going to be a little bit careful. How do I untime someone out now? Untime out at woke CIA drone pilot. Well, it wouldn't let me click their name because I had timed them out. I forgot that it automatically does it for 10 minutes, and that is egregious. 10 minutes is too much for a standard. You should compare it to Asmongold. Well, I have no idea what Asmongold's... Is it Asmongold? Oh, just with no D in there. Got it. Asmongold's gingivitis. Oh, shit. Damn. I didn't know that he was, like, a bigger streamer than Hassan is. The last time that he had, like, average viewership of that type was December of 2019, where he only had 40 hours streamed. It looks like he was gone for 6 months, or for what, 4 months, and came back and already had more. Does he just always take a break in January? I guess he's taken several breaks. Fucker has multiple accounts. Yeah, I know. I respect Asmongold. I don't know if I agree with everything that he's ever said or like find him particularly entertaining, but I don't think I've ever seen anything from that would like make me just dislike the guy, you know? Sakarar has 30. His alt account gets more than Hassan. Ooh, that's rough, man. 71 current active subs? Really? No, I don't. I don't want you to... He's our Goblin King, okay? Also, for those interested in the Tom tent, the Tom line is here. Not the timeline, the Tom line. They have everybody's face in there except for mine, which is ridiculous. I had a conversation with him too, son of a bitch.
The tails on you now. You're not a rap artist, you a scam artist.
Oh, I guess it's starting. Huh. Is it playing the correct video? I guess it is.
To the table, because 9 times out of 10 you can find that out after the first 5, 10, 20 minutes of having a conversation with her. Is she gonna be...
It's gonna be funny to watch it, but I'm not gonna watch it right now on stream. Jesus. Here's a meme for you guys. I don't remember if I took my ADD medicine, so if I seem overly distracted today,
Seen you lied about.
if I seem overly distracted today, let me know and I'll take my medicine. But I feel like I took my Vyvanse, but I'm not sure. Okay. Hold on, let's see here.
Seen you lied about almost everything, so their position changed. Okay, I would do this with literally anybody but Nair Socks, because you're actually like one of the dumbest people on the internet. But they haven't proven anything that I've lied about, but I've proven, again, there's a bunch of things that you guys seen you lied about almost everything, so their position changed. Okay.
Hey, why does he have such a low opinion of you, Nair? I thought that you were relatively respected in this space. How's it going, Vigilante? Let's see here. Wait,
seen you lied about.
I meant to click on the one right above that. Let's see here. Get our background music. Keep going. Let's see here. And we have some people over there on YouTube. Where are you guys? No chatter? No chatter from the YouTubers? Come on, man. Let's see here. The second link is a different thing. Yeah. I'm a liberal. It's hard to find masculine men to date who aren't conservative. Masculine progressive is an oxymoron. And yet you still cannot get a date. Tim, make some pee, fine. I forgot that was... Wait a second. Where's the original? Hold on.
I can't talk right now. I'm making piss. I can't talk right now. I'm making piss. I can't.
Amazing. Best TikTok ever made, right? Okay? Best TikTok ever made. How's it going, Antenna? Does Tim think he's masculine? He must be masculine. He has so much testosterone that he lost all his hair, right? Or is that just like the cope thing that people say? I think it's just the cope thing. All right, let's see here. So here is the broad outline of what we're doing today, all right? How's it going, Mom, in YouTube chat? Here's the broad overview of what we're going to be doing. Oh, yeah, look. How is this guy's head so, like, nearly perfectly spherical? Like, he's not even, like, a bad-looking dude necessarily, right? He could get a girlfriend, he could get a wife, but he complains about it so much. It's like the incel Ouroboros, you know? The incel Ouroboros, where you don't think you can get a girlfriend, so you get upset that you can't get a girlfriend, and people see you're upset about not getting a girlfriend, which makes you less likely to get a girlfriend, but you really want a girlfriend, and it just keeps on going around and around and around. Why does he look like a completely different person without the beanie? Listen, change someone's hairstyle, I usually can't recognize them. My girlfriend often, she accuses me of being face blind. I refuse to believe that's Tim. I believe that he has confirmed that is him. I think multiple times. You are 5'10". Oh, man. All right. So anyways, broad outline of what the plan is today. Okay. So we have a debate tomorrow with some people on Wix stream. I don't know if he... Wait, hold on. I like the background music. It keeps me grounded. Okay. Maybe his personality is dust. His personality and his intellect are dust. There's nothing good about that man. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So we have some debate tomorrow on Kamala Harris and the border. I don't know if he announces who's going to be on the show in advance, so I don't want to say who it is. One person who I respect, one person who I definitely have zero respect for at all. But one guy, he was like pretty, like the one or two times that I've been on a panel with him, seemed pretty chill. Maybe you're not face blind. Maybe you're just racist to everyone. It is very possible that I'm face blind a little bit. Like I do have trouble recognizing someone when their hair changes or if they like change. Is it me? Yes, Fishy Pone. You're going to be the person that I'm debating tomorrow. So because we have a debate tomorrow, we're going to be doing some research for it. One of the people that we're debating has made, oh my God, is this actually a 7-page doc? And this is just one of them? What is a czar? So we'll go through some of the stuff. We'll go through some of the content suggestions first to get into the swing of things. Why is it not making any noise? Why is there no volume? Refresh, maybe? Come on! 64-point list he might bring up. Do you know who I'm talking about? Why is there no volume? Because I know this clip. Mute tab. Unmute tab. Nothing. Huh. But Speaker Johnson made the list to show how Biden weakened the border. It's usually to go on machine gunning. It's usually a go-to on machine gunning points at Dems. Well, here's like the question is, I've asked them like 3 times, and let me see if they actually responded what the actual specific topic is. Because when I got invited to the group, it was Kamala Harris, borders are. And so that was all we got at first. I asked what the topic is, and then they said that, and then we had an argument about something completely different. Okay, Wick did respond. Kamala, good on the border. Was she in charge of the border? And just, is Kamala a good choice in general? Look, gang, yeah, we can make some content from this. So it's going to be about Kamala in relation to the border. But if you do want to send that to me, shoot it to me in DMs. That would be helpful. I don't know why I can't. I just want to hear Tim make a fool of himself. That's all I want. Oh well. Yeah, no, I might include that into the debate prep, but man, you know, I don't feel like I took my medicine, but I don't want to accidentally double up on it because I don't know what 120 milligrams of Vyvanse at once will do to me. Because I feel like I was taking it. I feel like I took it. But I don't feel any effects. Does that make sense?
Family. Because my dad...
I do need a 7-day pill organizer. Jesus. I'm old.
See, that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. Because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is, though? It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
I'm going to take
everybody else.
Yeah.
It's everybody else. It can't be me. It's everybody else. Uh-oh.
Hey guys, welcome back to today's video.
Kamala Harris boosting momentum nationwide.
Today is Wednesday, July 31st, 2024, and today we are going to be talking about the swing.
Yeah, it's definitely not him. Well, let me be clear. It actually isn't him. I know people who are less attractive than this that get bitches like crazy. But the problem is you have to be confident. You have to have an actual personality and you can't be a weirdo. All right. If I die, I die. There we go. We'll wait another 15 minutes, see if something kicks in here. See if we can start focusing on stuff. In the meantime, though, we'll go into the content suggestions. Again, we're going to be doing some research. We're going to be looking at what they say here. This actually wrote out 15 pages. 15 pages of docs for a Wick panel. I respect it. Don't get me wrong. I respect the fuck out of it. I just could never do it. Personally. What will happen if you take 120 Vyvanse? Because I'm 100% going to do that one day. Hey, listen, I do not promote or suggest or advise anybody to take any recreational or prescription drugs outside of what has been prescribed to you. All right. I don't want to accidentally double up because I have a very limited amount. Okay. A very limited amount. And I have to find a job so that I can get a psychologist because I guess like the different states have different rules over who can give different medications. So I have to get a new psychologist to give me new Vyvanse. And that's heart attack amounts? I don't think so because I've definitely accidentally taken like 100 milligrams of Adderall before by accident. I've definitely like gotten up there that level. And I know, you know, I've never felt bad. I don't think I've ever accidentally gotten close to an overdose because of forgetting my medicine or anything like that. I honestly, the only times where I have taken 2 pills, I just felt like I concentrated even harder. But it was like, it was like the difference between like being able to healthily focus on something and like obsessing and like being unable to break away from what I was focused on. That's like the only difference. So if I did take 2 by accident, then I'm gonna hyper focus on whatever we're looking at, and the amount of viewers be damned. That's all I can think. Anyways, so yeah, that's the broad overview. We're gonna look at the content suggestions first. It looks like Gas has hooked us up with a ton of links here today.
Now on this
It is so desperate, man. The most I've ever written out of my positions to get them on paper for a debate is 3 pages. For me, it's probably like bullet points, less than 1 page, double spaced, 12-point Times New Roman font. Okay. I saw you poking around in my doc when I was just typing stuff out. Oh shit. Is that your... Wait a second. Oh, okay. Sorry. I always just looked at the first word, so it's your name, and then that's your username. Yeah, we're going to be going over your thing because you gave me permission. Okay, you gave me permission. It's not a secret, right? I'll stop if it's not okay. But yeah, we'll be going through that later once the ADD medicine kicks in and I can actually focus on something. I wanted to hear you out. Oh well, I can shoot you a message when we actually start going over it. I need to get into the swing of things, right? But I was just saying earlier, honestly, I respect the fuck out of the fact that you can sit and bust out writing out 7 pages on one doc and then 8 pages on another. Like I don't think I've ever gone through that much. And look, you even have graphics. You have graphics. You're a better person than I am, and that makes me angry. That's why I hate you. Not because you disagree with me, not because of anything else, but because you're more organized and you can put graphics in your Google Doc for a Thursday debate, okay? Is that a SpongeBob microphone? No. This is a sock. This is a sock because all of my pop filters are in boxes, but I finally found all of the boxes that are supposed to be in this room. So sometime within the week, I should have unpacked those, and we won't have to use a hospital sock from my kidney stone stay as a pop filter anymore. Do you love Venn diagrams? I love Venn diagrams, just like my future president does. Okay?
I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those 3 circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right? So, okay, so I asked my team, I brought props.
Fixing the audio spikes in those videos was horrible. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm super autistic.
Let's bring out the former.
My interview with Tyler X when started streaming was mostly scripted on my part. I wrote all of that out just so I didn't miss anything. Well, I mean, like if you're interviewing someone, especially if you're trying to catch them in something, you do have to have everything written out. I have never been good at that sort of thing. I think I would really like to. I think I would really like to be able to interview someone in a hostile way and like ask them questions and catch them in lies and stuff like that. But most of the time where that's like a possibility for me to do, I just don't care enough about whatever's going on with it, you know? Like with the tomfoolery thing, I was interested to hear in the way that I was going about the conversation compared to other people. I was interested to see how he would respond to things, but I didn't write anything out except for just like bullet points of, okay, here are some things, don't forget to ask him about this. But I didn't like have clips or anything like that ready, anything. And I wish I could be that kind of person, you know? All right. Oh, you know what? I kind of want to watch the Black Journalist Convention with Trump because I heard one question that was like it might be this question that was kind of hostile. Back to Jeremy? Yeah, we need to finish that one. I gotcha. Also, Vigilante, who is that? Can you DM me the name of the person? Because I'll forget it if you type it in chat. Can you DM me the name of the person that you said is a conservative that hosts debate panels? Because I don't even know if it would be good content right now. But what I need to do is I need to get back into the swing of debating on a regular basis, because I don't know about for everybody, but for me, streaming and debating is a practiced skill, right? If I don't get to debate in a long time, my next debate I know is going to be dog shit. I know it's going to be bad. I need to like practice before going into like bigger debates, which is something I want to do now that I have Twitch and I don't have to ask people to cut their Twitch chat or their Twitch stream so that they can talk to me for a couple of minutes, which most people aren't willing to do, you know? Whoa, what is that? Gas. What is that link? Oh yeah, I love blood sports, but I just need to like get back into the swing of things. Is to get on WIC panels, not because they're good for you, but because they can make you connections to conservatives who would be willing to talk. Well, yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately, WIC panels aren't ever going to be something that boosts my viewership. And I think that people recognize that about panels now. People either do them just for fun or to make connections in the space, something like that. But they're not going to help you with viewership because everybody wants to be in. It's better to be in like one consolidated chat because you're getting to argue with everybody, you know. Fred. Oh yeah. Also, I forgot. I have a request from my mom to go over, and I think we should do that one first. Let me do that first here.
And although most
Sondsol doesn't talk to conservatives, he just called them. No, I don't actually. I like to talk to conservatives. I like to have people push back on things that I say to make sure that I'm not, incorrect. If there's something that I'm saying that's incorrect, I would like it to be correct, right? Do the WIC panels just to get your face recognized again? That was sarcasm. Okay, listen, I can't tell. There are people that come in and then they accuse me of all sorts of crazy stuff. I can't tell. All right. Listen, I am mildly autistic. I need tone indicators in chat. Tone indicators. That's a joke. Please don't put tone indicators. Way too soy. Debate Bill? Who is Bill? There's a certain level where I just can't anymore. Yeah, but see, the other problem with talking to conservatives, and we'll get to watching stuff here in just like 2 seconds. The problem with conservatives, and I need to like tone down my rage when talking to these people, is there's so many conservatives that are just lost. They're just lost, man. I don't know how to help them, you know? I don't know how to have a conversation with them. I don't know how to have any baseline, just like agree like, okay, yeah, we can have some mutual ground here, because there's so much conspiracism. There's so much conspiracism, and I don't have the patience to learn about every single conspiracy theory that happens. And when you ask them just like the basic questions of something, usually they'll either refuse to engage with those things and just like spit out a million more points about the conspiracy theory that I don't want to talk about because you don't have any evidence for it. You just have things around the edges that if you squint your eyes, you can kind of see a connection. And that's so boring. Increase the rage, go full destiny? I don't know. Discord link just DM'd. Thank you. Perhaps they're not lost. You're just not equipped to discuss specific things with them. But see, that's the thing. I am equipped to discuss these things with them. But like, I would hope, I think that like the problem is when I have a conversation, I do genuinely, actually want the conversation to be good. No, I am not taking a call right now, actually. I'm going to turn my phone on silent. I want something like to... it doesn't have to be productive necessarily, but like I should get something out of the conversation. But like we can't get past the first part of the conversation where we both agree on the facts of a case and then like argue about whether or not they're good or not, because the facts just never line up. There's conspiracism on both sides, not unique to either. I disagree. Partly. There is conspiracism on both sides. And I don't expect everybody to not have any conspiratorial thoughts, because I used to be like that and I understand it, right? I've thought about this recently. I can't think of any conspiracy theories or things that I think are like super hush hush or anything like that I believe in anymore. Because every single time I dive into a conspiracy theory, it's always super easy to explain, right? Like I was preparing for a moon truther debate a long time ago that never came to fruition. And it's really actually super easy to prove that we went to the moon. It's super easy to prove that we went to the moon. But in order to like argue with a good moon truther, you have to know all these periphery facts. And if they had any curiosity in their mind, like whatsoever, they would already know those things. They don't try to disprove anything that they believe in, right? State of conservatives today.
Was a professor of medicine. I trusted doctors like I trusted my own parents. I trusted the medical community. I don't any longer. They've lost my trust.
Yep. Now you trust Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. Yeah. Now we trust podcasters who have every vested interest in lying to you about things in order to make more ad revenue and to sell you more products for whatever vitamin boost or whatever. If you want to talk about lockdowns and them being good or bad, I think at this point, I think the evidence is out that the lockdowns were probably too aggressive. I think most people agree with that. The issue isn't debating whether or not they were good or bad. It's that you conservatives assume that they were done maliciously. The entire world came together to maliciously lock. It's not irrelevant.
You know what?
The motivation for why you.
Malicious. I don't give a damn if it was malicious. It ruined societies. It ruined children's lives. You don't
think the intention of a policy matters when it comes to trusting them in the future? You don't think knowing if they were acting maliciously or not isn't important in deciding if you would trust them?
No, and by the way,
what is that? What do you mean? It's not important to know if they're malicious when they're doing something. We'll watch the rest of this, please. We've got one thing that we have a problem with on my stream is focusing on one thing at a time, and I can feel the ADD medicine kicking in. So only the outcome. Oh, so they're consequentialists now. Somewhere between 1% to 99% believe it, and I'm correct. So I mean, you are correct. COVID was factually not safe for a wide variety of people. That's not a conspiracy. Well, COVID's not safe for anybody because it's a disease. Yeah, I don't know if that number's changed though, Tron. 70% of conservatives in the United States believe, or at least Republicans believe, that the election was stolen in the United States, which is horrible, which is crazy. We need 100 to sit down and talk about the debate circle before you go on. There are things you need to know. What? Who is 100? What is 100? Wasn't safe for a wide variety of people. You know what? They said that over and over and over. And yet, we're 3 years down the line and no one, there's no widespread myocarditis that's killing young men. Yeah, narrator, but it was not fact. Okay, I got you, Vigilante. Do they? That 70% is usually connected to illegitimate, not conspiracy to steal? I don't know what you mean. What is the difference? They say that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump, and totally ignore the fact that Trump had a whole, now out in the open, plan to try and steal and subvert the 2020 election. All of the major criticisms that conservatives throw at liberals and Democrats is all 100% projection. Something happened. 1 second. Never mind. Well, did the people who claim Trump was illegitimate also think 2016 was stolen? Of course not. No, I don't. More to one side than the other? No, it is totally true, because the Republican Party is the entire Republican Party right now is based off of conspiracism. I don't understand at all what you're trying to say with the illegitimate versus stolen thing. I don't understand what you're saying. Hard to take anything serious when everything Trump says is taken hyperbolically. Well, everything Trump says is hyperbolic. But okay, we need to watch this real quick. All right. My mom requested that I watch this, so we're going to watch it. Damn it.
Although most of the Trump family usually puts out a united front behind Donald Trump, another member of that family is now publicly breaking ranks. Fred Trump III, the son of Trump's older brother, Fred Trump Jr., and brother of frequent critic Mary Trump, has now come out in support of Kamala Harris. The endorsement comes as Fred Trump releases a new memoir, which has the title, We
should all be fluent in Trump speak by now, though. No, we're fluent in it. We're fluent in it, but we shouldn't allow this Trump speak to become normalized. That's the issue. Yeah, I understand how Trump speaks. He just shouldn't speak like that. Not as the leader of the country, and not as a candidate for the leader of the country again, and not as a world leader. He shouldn't speak like the way that he does. He shouldn't do that. I don't care if everything that he says is hyperbolic. It's taken hyperbolically. You have to sift through 15 different layers of irony to get through it. You shouldn't have to do that with the president of the United States. The president of the United States should be clear, should be understood, should be consistent. and shouldn't get all of their news and their opinions from Fox and Friends in the morning, an opinion show like Joe Biden. Oh, well, Joe Biden's no longer in the race, is he? And Joe Biden is like, you know where he stands on things. You know what his policies are. Occasionally he'll mix up someone's name, but so does Donald Trump. The entire Republican Party is based on conspiracy. They are. He's the president you got elected. Yeah. And he's been the best president in terms of policy in my lifetime. He's gotten through more legislation than Donald Trump ever did, hasn't he? More bipartisan legislation in a constantly like split down the middle Congress, constantly split down the middle Senate, and he's still been able to get through. Brain dead guy is the best. Yeah. If my brain dead guy is able to pass more legislation than your like virile horse of a man who eats like McDonald's literally every single day because he thinks that his kitchen is too dirty compared to McDonald's, then yeah, I'm going to take the brain dead guy because he's actually able to get stuff done. Whereas your guy got through 2 major pieces of legislation. It was his tax bill. And what was the other one? Oh, wait, hold on. That's the only big piece of legislation he got through. The other one was appointing 3 Supreme Court justices that got Roe v. Wade overturned. Those are his 2 successes. Those are his 2 concrete successes in office. We should be a civil society where everyone is treated with respect. I agree. That is the ideal. Why do we have to compare the geriatrics? Because even on the merits of what they're saying, the geriatric on my side is on almost every conceivable front, minus like maybe his comedic timing, I guess, a better president than Donald Trump. So anyways, watching this, we got to.
Support of Kamala Harris. The endorsement comes as Fred Trump releases a new memoir, which has the title, All in the Family, The Trumps and How We Got This Way. In the book, Fred takes readers behind the scenes of the family dynamic that he says.
Dude, pictures from the 80s and the 70s with the, like old men with the big glasses. Dude, why did those get out of style? Those are some bumping style of shades. Or not shades, just glasses, all right? They might make you look like a computer nerd, but in like a cool way, okay?
Helped create the former president. And Fred joins us now here on set. Good to see you. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you.
Let's just start simply with this. Why now? Why speak out now?
There are 2 reasons, and we haven't started now. My wife Lisa and I have been advocating for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our young son, William, has complex disabilities. We've been doing so.
Oh, you know what? I forget, because I always forget about Project Warp Speed, which was a success of the Trump administration, but Republicans don't want to hold on to that because they're all anti-vaxxers now. But yeah, that was, unironically, probably the coolest thing that Trump did in office. He was able to use the presidency to unshackle production and research and in pharmaceutical research and pharmaceutical testing for that research. And in less than a year, they were able to develop a vaccine faster than anybody else. And they were effective, they were safe. And the Republicans, because it didn't get rolled out until Joe Biden was in office, the Republicans hated it. How's it going, Fire Demon 46?
Through the legislative and through the executive branch, we have met during Donald's term with cabinet secretaries and a meeting that culminated in May of 2020 in the Oval Office. So we haven't just started. We waited for the book. We wanted to wait for William to become settled in a new home environment. He doesn't live with us now. He lives in a
Doing pretty good. Just looking at some news, getting into the swing of streaming again.
group home. We wanted him to be settled. But we've been thinking about this for a while.
And tell us more about what Donald Trump has said about your son.
Donald has never met William, ever. In fact, no one in the Trump family other than two of my cousins have met William. So when he said what he did to me, when a fund that had been set up for William's health, for his therapeutic needs, and I just want to clear something up. The reason a fund existed is because Donald orchestrated a plan to take my sister and me out of my grandfather's inheritance, which went back days after William was released after 7 weeks in hospital. Al, you'll remember that in the city. You have to understand that Donald was my trustee. He was my trustee, which meant he was supposed to protect me and my family. He did the exact opposite. So the fund was my money, but I had to ask for it back, which was troubling. So when the fund was running low, I called Donald and I mentioned that. And he said, "Your son doesn't recognize you. Let him die and move to Florida." Now, I don't know how you can explain that.
Jesus Christ, man. No shot. He said that.
And he said, "Your son doesn't recognize you. Let him die and move to Florida." Now, I don't know how you can explain that away, the cruelty of that comment. But as you
Hold on, I wanna read. Do they have like the exact quote? Trump, some disabled. Let's just see if that pops up. Let's look at Forbes, because I don't think that they are. Well, they are paywalled, but I get 4 free articles. Though Fred noted that his uncle appeared engaged during the meeting, he went on to say that the then president remarked to him after it had finished that maybe those kinds of people should just die, bearing in mind the shape they're in and all the expenses. Jesus Christ, man. Uncle Don, my son who has massive disabilities, his medical bills are stacking up and his fund is almost, completely run dry. And, you have access to all of my money from the will that you drafted. So you're in charge of this. Can I please have money so that my son doesn't die? Let him die. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus.
read in All in the Family, he had said something very similar in our last Oval
He did it twice, one about a group that visited the White House.
Office meeting with a group of advocates.
Personally, I am shocked Trump would say something so distasteful. Yeah, I mean, he's usually so eloquent and compassionate with his speech, you know?
He had called me back into the office when everyone dispersed and said, those people, all those expenses, they should just die. So it's hard to wrap your head around that.
We should note Donald Trump disputes this account. He said that in a statement, I helped him so much, more than anyone else in his life, and this is the thanks I get. Eric Trump, the president's son, took to Twitter X last night saying...
I forgot about Eric Trump. That guy hasn't been making the rounds that I know of. I always hear about Don Jr.
It's disappointing that after decades of unwavering love, support, golf memberships, et cetera, that you have decided to cash in his words, less than 100 days. So talk to us about this family dynamic now and respond to what they're saying.
That sounds like a man who's forced a mistress to have an abortion. Has anybody come out and said that that's happened? I feel like that must have happened at some point.
You know, the dynamic started when I was...
Or they have an NDA and they're not allowed to.
Was very young when I was able to grasp it. And understand that I am one of the only people that knew Donald in his formative years, through his business career, and during his presidency, and after. So I know Donald as well as anybody. My father, his older brother, Freddie, wanted nothing to do with the family business. But my grandfather, who was very tough, wanted him to. My father wanted to be an airline pilot and wound up being an airline pilot in the early 60s. That was quite a feat.
Trump doesn't care about disabled people? No.
Right after.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of good paragraphs. It's talking about northern New Jersey, draws the prober's eye, written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This was 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
The clips, they just keep on coming, don't they?
But Donald,
over and over and over,
who was given the path by my father to do what he wanted to do, to run the family business, just demeaned my father for no reason other than his need to feel superior to other people. And that led to issues with my dad, unfortunately. People will say this is like the Succession television show. And I say, no, it really isn't. In Succession, there were 3 siblings that wanted to take over the father's business. My dad wanted no part of it. My dad wanted to be an airline pilot and became that. Again, he gave Donald the path, but Donald crushed him.
Fred, I want to go back to what you were saying about your son and Donald Trump's reaction, because one of the things that strikes me, and as you know, I've known Donald Trump for a while, pro and con relationships, is that the insensitivity that I might have marched on him about in terms of Central Park 5 or something else is one thing, but to be insensitive to his own nephew's condition. And it shows how he feels about people that have situations like what you and your wife are dealing with your son, that he really has no insensitivity toward people that are suffering or find themselves in a different situation, which is scary if you're going to make him president of the United States. Talk about just his lack of humanity and sensitivity.
Well, I was listening to the segment before with Senator Kelly in the immigration policy and how Donald and the new Republicans, the Republican Party, which is not the Republican Party I remember, just everybody is a rapist, everybody is a criminal. The way I answer that question is the caregivers that take care of my son William are from many of those same countries. They care for him every single day of his life. So Donald does not respect people that he deems lesser than him.
You know, Fred, it also is interesting.
This shouldn't be shocking whatsoever. And to be clear, I don't think that there's literally anything Donald Trump could do, literally ever. This is something that I almost referenced at the beginning of stream, but like, there's a very edgy thought experiment that I've been using in different Discords and, you know, on Twitter and shit like that. And, Trump said that he could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot someone and he wouldn't lose support. And I think it's actually worse than that. I genuinely think that Donald Trump could on Fox and Friends, live on air, have non-consensual intercourse for, just monetization reasons, non-consensual intercourse with like a toddler. It could be their own toddler. And these crazy people would still vote for him. And you know what? The amount of times where they just avoid saying no speaks volumes. Like, the amount of times that they just like skip past the hypothetical. That is pure cope? No, it's not. I don't think that there is anything in some of like the extreme MAGA people's heads. I don't think there's a single thing that could ever sway them away from supporting Donald Trump, because they've already sold out every shred of like moral argument in terms of like the moral character of their candidates, right? Family value conservatives, Christian conservatives. There's almost not a single thing that Donald Trump is genuinely. It's like he's the worst part of America. Every worst aspect of American culture, like distilled into one person as a caricature of what it means to be a billionaire. Yeah, I'm referencing it right now. I'm not going to be using it in the future, but like, again, for the amount of times that they've had to sell out their morals to defend a guy that they voted for and are supporting, it's like the sunk cost fallacy. People are like, well, I mean, he's done that, and that's not that bad. So like he could do this, and like I don't like necessarily agree with it, but like he's our guy, right? And then it just like keeps on going from there and there. He's not a family man. He's not a Christian. He cynically uses every single one of these groups and their morals, depending on who he's talking to, cynically. And even like the way he's saying it is so cynical. So I don't understand how people who are like hardcore hardcore, Christians and hardcore, any of these different groups that he tries to appeal to, right? He doesn't embody any of these morals that they hold him up to be having. And I don't feel like there's anybody on the left that could possibly fit that same description. All right, catch you later, Mom. All right, guys, Mom's out of the room. Now I can be edgy as hell. No, but RFK? No, people hate RFK on the left. Like the broad from like center left to like a lot of radicals even hate him.
My people are so smart. And you know what else they say about my people? The polls. They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
So anyone you don't like is on the left? Yeah, exactly. I hate all left-leaning people. Yeah, no, it's just so strange to me. It's so strange to me. Like, it would be so much less strange to me if it was begrudging support. Like Sieg and Nair, right? I don't know if you guys are actually voting for Trump or not. I hope you're not, because you guys are much smarter than that, okay? But I totally lost my train of thought because I scrolled up to see if they were still in chat. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah, if you guys were voting for Trump, if any of the conservatives in my chat were voting for Trump, like I wouldn't necessarily be as weirded out by it. I would vote for Trump over Kamala if I'm to be honest. I just don't I don't get that. Like given everything. But it's like you guys are like if you did vote for Trump, it's like begrudging because of like policy issues. But it's not begrudging. It's not they're actively, enthusiastically supporting this guy and then holding him up for being like the best American and, a good Christian or, give me a good candidate for me to vote for then. I think Kamala is, I mean, like, unless you're going to do like they have to earn my vote type thing. Like you got to vote for who holds your values more and who is going to be better for the country. I feel bad for conservatives like Sieg and Socks because they're you guys are intelligent, and I've seen that you guys are intelligent, and I can't get like too mad at you guys for like the conservative things that you guys say because you guys just like have disagreements with me, and that's fine. But like for the people that are like die hard, yes, we need Trump. It is almost always die hard support, and it is almost always like, to be honest, right now what I've been seeing the most of is just like vindictive. It's just vindictive. They want Trump because they know that liberals hate Trump. Trump by 1,000 miles holds more of my values? No, I don't think that that's true because I know you, and I think that you hold America in high esteem, but Trump like is legitimately like the antithesis of every single American value we have. Kamala is okay. Jesus Christ, the Twitch chat thing is like freaking out on my screen over here. Is the furthest left except for Sanders? I guess we'll have to look at her record. It's entirely possible, and it's something that I've heard people say. I'm not sure if it's actually true. It's entirely possible. But like if she tries to get that stuff through in the kind of Congress and Senate that we've been having, then I doubt that any of like the far left things will get through. If she tries to continue on with the type of legislation that Biden's been getting through, that has been very, pro-worker, pro-union, pro-American in almost every single way, then I don't see a reason why even like center-right conservatives would be against voting for her. But I might have voted for Biden. Kamala's very far left. I think she is dialing back till she makes office. Well, then, like, I mean, at that point, it's like a game theorying it out, right? If you think that Kamala is very left wing, but like the difference between her and Trump is on track to like try and essentially destroy what it like our entire electoral system. I'm sorry. I truly do believe that. The things that he says, the things that the people around him say, the things that the people around him are saying that they want to do once they are appointed to the positions that he is going to appoint them to, right? I feel like at that point, you have to game theory it out. Is it worth like running the risk of Trump like doing those things again? Or like having a president that might, in like, if she's very lucky, mind you, she's very lucky, because the big Democrat things that they wanted to get through, like, you know, Medicare for all, or like changing our medical system, or the $15 an hour minimum wage, all that shit got destroyed through Congress. Congress is a moderating force on things that a specific president might want to do. Most Dems are all in. Well, I think that we're all in partly because, again, the specter of Donald Trump. And number two, I think that she's running on the same platform as Joe Biden. Yet I think it's an issue that when I ask what she's done as VP, I get blank stares. I don't think that that's that weird, actually, because vice presidents usually are working in the background more, right? Like when Joe Biden was vice president, people didn't really know exactly what he was up to all the time unless you were like deep into the international relations side of things, right? I don't think that I don't know what Pence did as VP. I know that he did like some like diplomatic missions and stuff like that, but like what specifically did he do? Like, do you know what his record as VP is without like Googling anything? Because I don't remember much news about Mike Pence, except for the things that the weird shit that he would say, like calling his wife mother, you know? And I know that that's not like a knock against him as a politician necessarily, but that was just like the news that came out while they were in office. Pence very technically saved democracy. Yeah, that is probably the best thing on his, well, I guess this will be very useful for our segment later. Pence did space program, but like, what did he do there? Because like, we might know what his like role was, but what were the accomplishments specifically? Because like I know that Kamala Harris was in charge of working with unions, and she was supposed to be the take point on diplomatic relations with leaders in Central and South America, which I believe, from what I've heard, even before she joined the race, she had like some pretty good things happening with the diplomacy in South America and Central America, but that's not something that we've ever really paid attention to here. So I don't know specifically what it is, but probably did nothing because I think Biden was a powerful, strong leader who was Giga Chad, but true. I mean, kind of true. That's true. The mother thing was a myth. Well, I thought there was like a video of it, but like, again, like it was never like a big consideration for my opinion on Pence. I just always thought that he looked like, I'm trying to think, because he doesn't look like Emperor Palpatine, but he has like, he's like Emperor Palpatine adjacent, like in the same genre of person. Do you know what I mean? Like he kind of has that vibe, just like the way he looks, but I don't know if he's like actually like an evil person or anything. I know that there was a lot of narratives that went around when I was a like super lefty, but I try to wipe all of my opinions or my preconceptions from that time in my life away. Also, when the Senate was 50-50, she could not leave. That is true. She did have to stay in DC a lot more than Pence did because of the Senate split. But okay, but let's keep going with some of the things that we've opened. We didn't get through the quartering thing. I don't think we need to watch the rest of this because none of this is like surprising, and none of the revelations that come out, like if they were 100%, 1 billion% actually factually, you know, proven to be true. There was a audio recording of him saying this thing. It wouldn't change anyone's mind. Like, Pence also helped push pro-life policies, shit you would hate. Well, even if it's shit that I would hate, sure, like he was doing stuff. But do you think that Kamala Harris wasn't doing any of that stuff? Did you have to just Google that to know what it was? It's not a knock on you if you did, but I just like, again, I think that vice presidents usually are working more in the background on things that are less pressing or less, you know, public facing on stuff. I just think that's the way that vice presidents work, you know? They do diplomatic missions. They do smaller things in the like domestically that people usually don't pay as much attention to. They're not usually like front and center. I think like the last front and center presidential or vice presidential person we had in was Dick Cheney. And that's because he basically took over the White House, and George Bush was basically just like a figurehead. At least from the things that I've seen, but I don't know very much about that time period. Saw a couple of movies and documentaries. I have to couch everything I say because especially like the period from 1990 to 2010, there's a big like gap in my political and historical knowledge in that area. So no, Kamala generally was put on things like the border and something else I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, like, and she's done some diplomacy over in the Middle East. She's done some diplomacy in Eastern Europe and in NATO. I know that she's done those sorts of things, but like they're just usually more in the background. So I don't think that it's a knock on Kamala Harris if people don't know what her record is as vice president, just because by virtue of the role of the vice president, they're usually just doing smaller, less important things than the president themselves, you know? Or she never met with one of the border agencies? That would be interesting to see. Like, that would be a genuine failure on her part if she didn't, like, barring any decent explanation. But I know that I think it was either Honduras or Guatemala or somewhere in that area. Maybe it was Nicaragua. But the share of migrants crossing the border after Harris met with that dude dropped pretty unbelievably significantly to where there's like barely any people from that country coming. Granted, it's a smaller country, but like there are successes that she had on the border, but they're just things that because of the technicality, like for lack of a better word, like how deep into the policy side and the diplomacy side of things that you get, like the less people are going to know about it. And you'd have to be like pretty interested in looking into these things specifically to know that off the top of your head. I will open that up and we will look into it. I need to, yeah, I'm going to move all of the border stuff over there for us to look out in a little bit. Any political thing before 2012 didn't actually happen? True. I haven't read it, so I don't know yet. Yeah, we'll look at it for sure. But I want to get through some of the other things that we were going over. We didn't finish the quartering thing. You know, actually, before watching this, Trump assassination. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wait, I'll have to open up like a new private window. Let's see here. Assassination. Oh, it's not going to give me any suggestions, so I have to go to Google. I just Googled Google. Thank you. Christ. Assassination attempt on Trump. Okay, well. Trump assassination. Well, hey, Chris Speaks, rating with a party of 23. Thank you for the raid. My first raid upon getting unbanned. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We are right now just kind of vibing and going through some stuff. There's this whole thing about Donald Trump assassination attempt being suppressed by Google, and we're going to look into that. The ADD medicine has fully kicked in. We're locked and loaded, locked in, ready to go. All right. I've been banned from Twitch for the past year. So now here we are. Here we are. Look who's back. The man who thinks poor people do not deserve fries and a burger. That's me. Thank you, Shadowrun. Chris Speaks. I feel like, sorry, it's been so long since I was on Twitch. So I don't remember who everybody is, but I remember that name. Oh, the VTuber. Yes, I remember the VTuber. Thank you very much for the raid, my guy. I really appreciate it. But anyways, yes, this is my channel. We are back. Please say VTubers are cringe. Listen, I hate to do it to them. I hate to do it to them. I hate to do this to my loyal mod, internet gas. But VTubers are cringe. But we will make an exception for Chris. Chris Speaks is the one good VTuber. All right? Not because they're a VTuber, in spite of it. Anyways, yeah. So, I accidentally just pinned that. Pinned the cancel thing. I want to yeah, I'll just leave it. Fuck it. Anyways, I will say this. My YouTube is now filled with blacks reacting to Trump, which is annoying as... Why is it filled with that? Should be banned in the age of AI Russian misinformation? True. Okay, anyways, so let me just give, for all the people that are coming in who haven't been watching me because I've been banned for a year, this is my channel. I talk about politics. I am a political science student working towards getting my degree. I am working on becoming a more compassionate person. I did a good job of that for a while, and then I lost it. And I'm trying to find the compassion again, okay? Because I love all people. But right now it's becoming hard, all right? I used to live in Texas. I just moved across the entire country. So this is my only source of income. So if you guys want to help a brother out by using, I don't know, like the Prime Subarino, all right? I would really appreciate that, especially since this is the last day of July, and I'll be getting this payout, I think. Oh man, I don't even remember when the payouts for Twitch come out. I think it's the first of the month. So if you guys want to help me out and help a brother out who is unemployed, looking for work in a state that he's never even been in, hook a brother up. Use that donation link. Use that sub button. Let's go. Left the promised land for hobo land number 2. Very true. What am I researching? We have a debate tomorrow about Kamala Harris and the border. I don't think that I think it's a pretty broad thing. So one of the people in the debate has written 15 pages of documents. Oh, no, they've expanded it. This only used to be 7 pages before. So this is now 9, and this is now... 7. So the other one was 8, and this one was 7. So now we're at 16. But state, listen, do you think that I'm rich enough to afford living in DC proper? Please. Only 5 is on topic. The other pages are just guesses as to where we go after. Oh, well, tell me specifically, is it the border one and then on page 6 and 7 here are the things? Or is it the Kamala Harris borders are and the last 2 pages are off topic? Hey, thank you for the Prime sub. I really appreciate that. That's super based. Where are my alerts? My alert didn't go off, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will have to figure out why alerts are not happening sometime soon. But I'm way too scared to click on literally anything on OBS because last stream it just kept on crashing. Okay, so if you guys want to make sure that you don't get kicked out of my stream, then you can watch on YouTube. Stay in Twitch chat. Watch on YouTube. Don't worry, Chris picks up every stream too. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. It was only happened since I came back to Twitch yesterday. Again, like I only got unbanned yesterday, so I'm trying to remember what the settings for Twitch need to be compared to YouTube and all that stuff. So, anyways, about Google purposely hiding search results, that is something that I'm super curious about. So, on the topic of Donald Trump assassination getting, when was this posted? Or when was this article from? Oh, this is November 15th of 2019. I'm super curious. Trump assassination, what should I... Not throttled. What's like the correct term? Manipulated? Censored. Thank you. I was thinking too much of like technical speak. I just don't trust looking at New York Post or Fox News for this. Well, maybe Fox Business, but I don't know how skewed they are. Actually, off the top of my head, Forbes is usually okay. Okay, well, let's look at some of these. Oh, and AP. We love AP here. Fact Focus. Google autocomplete results around Trump lead to claims of election interference. With fewer than 100 days until the 2024 election, social media users are claiming that a lack of Google autocomplete results about former President Donald Trump and his attempted assassination is evidence of election interference. Didn't Elon Musk earlier today ban white dudes for Kamala Harris' Twitter account because they raised $3.5 million for her campaign? Did anybody hear about that? Because there's got to be a reason why. They had to have had a reason, right? Did they state what the reason is? Well, thank you for telling me that, Tron. Everybody stay on Twitch, okay? Oh. For the past 5 minutes, my phone has been getting it's been speech to text, texting my girlfriend. Oops, let me just delete all of that. Hey, Kata boy, how's it going? Alrighty. No, it's all good. We were just talking about Trump stuff. She agrees with me on everything because I'm right about everything. That's something that you guys are going to learn about me if you just got rated in. You're going to learn a lot about me. Like, I'm always correct. You should learn that too, average debate enjoyer. Okay. Many posts include screenshots showing that what the autocomplete feature, which predicts what users are trying to type, has generated for text such as attempted assassination of TR President Donald. Among the pictured results for the former phrase are references to other assassination attempts, including that of Harry Truman and Gerald Ford, but nothing for Trump. The latter provides two options: President Donald Duck, which is funny as hell, and President Donald Reagan. Multiple high-profile figures, including Trump and sitting members of Congress, promoted the claim across social media platforms, collectively amassing more than 1 million likes and shares by Tuesday. Trump did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Google attributed the situation to existing protections against autocomplete predictions associated with political violence, noting that no manual action was taken to suppress information about Trump. Okay, I think I understand. So what Google is saying is that they have like search results throttled that could imply that you're either searching for or planning on doing something that would be harmful to a politician or doing political violence. So it's not strange that would be throttled. That's their explanation. Let me see here. Man, everybody is shooting me DMs right now. Yeah, I know it's fake news. Like, I just did it on a incognito tab, right? Trump assassination attempt on Trump. President Donald Trump. Don. Still gives us Donald Duck, though. You were banned for a year? I was banned for a year. We still don't know exactly the reason why, but I'm a reformed person even so. But we are back. We've been streaming on YouTube and Kick for the past year. Listen, for me, I really wanted to get unbanned from Twitch because I do not want to be associated with Kick anymore. Okay? Look up a bunch of porn and then do the search. Maybe then you will see the altered search. What do you mean? I'm not doing that, actually. No, I think I'm good on that one. But yeah, I didn't want to be associated with Kick anymore. Okay? I'm implying the algorithm is targeting them. Oh, okay, I got you. We can't really know with Google because of how complex the system is. You can't just open in incognito because it knows your IP and stuff. Oh, well, would it actually save data according to your IP address? Kick is wildin'. It was like a really cool idea, even though there was a lot of gambling on it at first and stuff. But like, especially with all the, weird stuff with children and why wouldn't it? Listen, Sieg, you're talking to a guy, okay? You're talking to a guy that literally, like, a computer stuff is just, it's a magic box for me. It's a magic box. I know that there's a logic behind it, but I don't understand it, okay? The computer is a magic box that I press a button on it, and then all three of my screens turn on, and then I can do stuff on that computer. But anything to do with data, anything to do with, the like finer points or like even even stuff that would probably be like first year comm sci stuff. I just don't know it because I've never had to take a comm sci course. I tried watching a couple of political streamers on Kick, and I think every single one of them is the worst kind of racist. Well, that's because you're watching the political people on Kick, okay? The only people that are on Kick that are political streamers probably got banned off of Twitch for a reason, all right? Me, on the other hand, I'm a compassionate person, and I don't understand why I got banned. But blocking your porn sites? Wait, did that actually happen? Listen, I don't need to go to porn sites, okay? I'm fine. But did they actually block porn sites there? 95% of computer problems are layer 1. I'm not good with computers. I can do some I can probably surpass your average boomer and Gen Xer, but I cannot surpass probably most millennial. No. Most people are very done with computers. I'm probably B tier with computers. All right. A tier, I would say, is anything better than me. I'm a high B. Yes, Texas passed a law requiring ID verifications or some shit, and so sites blocked users from Texas to avoid breaking laws. Damn. Well, never had to worry about that personally myself. Did they what about sites like 4chan? They have porn boards on there, but they're not a porn site. So is 4chan completely blocked, or did they block specific boards? Your IP address is basically a mailing address. I might not know what the packages are for, but I know they are going to your house. Right, but would those packages, would they have any knowledge about what I searched before? Yeah, I guess I just don't know. Some are still open, but the big one's blocked unless you create an account or some shit. Yeah, well, you'll never catch me making an account on some porn site. In March 2024, Google Trends showed more than a 400% increase in searches for the term VPN in Texas after Pornhub and its parent company disabled access to their websites. Jesus Christ. Can't wait for that site to leak. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Okay. Hold on. We were in the middle of watching something, okay? So we have the basic facts or the basic overview of what Google said the issue was. Now let's look into just a little bit deeper into things. Search engine experts said that there are many reasons that could explain why some autocomplete results. Oh yeah, also Tron, cut out all that middle stuff. I kind of want this to be a segment. Also cut this out, okay? Sure, if I'm Amazon and you only order stuff off Amazon, then I can record what you ordered. If I'm Google and you only use Google search, then I can record what I sent you. Okay. I mean, it seems super reasonable that that's possible. I just didn't know that it would go to that level. I thought that it would have to be more associated with your Google account for them to have that access. But in the world that we live in, it shouldn't be surprising to me whatsoever that the IP address itself has data associated with it. All right. Tron, pick it back up here. Search engine experts said that there are many reasons that could explain why autocomplete results concerning the former president were not appearing. Here's a closer look at the facts. The claim is Google is engaging in election interference by censoring autocomplete results about former President Donald Trump. I can't speak today, including the assassination attempt at his Pennsylvania rally on July 13th. The facts. It is true that Google's autocomplete feature as of Monday was not finishing certain phrases related to Trump and the assassination attempt as shown in screenshots spreading online. But there is no evidence that it was related to election interference. It's even scary that Amazon will sell your data to Google, so even if you've never done a Google search before, they might know your habits. That's crazy. The data stuff, there should be a data bill of rights. I think that the EU did something like that recently, or maybe they're thinking about doing something like that. But basically, it's a set of legal a legal outline for the things that you have a right to anonymity or not to be tracked about, and that just should be the case. I understand that data is really important for these large companies, especially now in the era of AI, but the data stuff and the AI stuff and basically everything on the internet, there needs to be a massive overhaul in how we approach the internet in general, because tech bros are like super soying out about like, oh, we can get so much more data. We can get so much more data if we do this. And it's like, man, but like, whose expense, man? You know? And by this point, what do I have left to hide? Well, yeah, see, like, that's the problem. That's how I think about it too. I think about it like, well, at this point, like, I didn't know about like all of the data stuff until probably 2020, probably 2021, right? I thought like most of it was, before that, I thought most of it was just hand wringing and shit like that. Not really actually that scary. But like the more I've learned about it, the more stuff that they have access to and the more ways that they sell that data or the way that data is accessed by third parties that you wouldn't expect is pretty worrying. I think that there should be some massive overhaul in the way that we engage with, you know, online stuff. Anyways, let's continue. By Tuesday, some of the same terms were providing relevant autocomplete results. The text President Donald now also suggests Donald Trump as a search option. Similarly, the phrase attempted assassination of includes Trump's name in the autocomplete predictions. Adding TR to the same phrase, though, makes the option disappear. Really? Okay, so if you do attempted assassination, but if you do it like that, it's like that. Okay, got you. Depending on how you phrase it. I think I saw like a news story on that, like a 60 Minutes thing long time ago. So I don't remember any of it. Let's see here. Completed searches about Trump and the assassination attempt done on both Monday and Tuesday yielded extensive relevant results regardless of what the autocomplete predictions came up. Google told the Associated Press that its autocomplete feature has automated protections regarding violent topics, including for searches about theoretical assassination attempts. The company further explained that its systems were out of date even prior to July 13th, meaning that the protections already in place couldn't take into account that an actual assassination attempt had occurred. Additional autocomplete results now appearing about Trump are the result of systemic improvements rather than from targeted manual fix that will affect many other topics, according to the company. We're rolling out improvements about our autocomplete systems to show more up-to-date predictions, Google told the Associated Press in a statement. The issues are beginning to resolve and will continue to make improvements as needed. As always, predictions change over time and there may be some imperfections. I forgot reading articles makes me yawn for some reason. Autocomplete helps save people time, but they can always search for whatever they want, and we will continue to connect them with helpful information. Search engine experts told the AP they didn't see any evidence of suspicious activities on Google's part, and that there are plenty of other reasons to explain why there have been a lack of autocomplete predictions about Trump. It's very plausible that there's nothing nefarious here, that it's other systems that are set up for neutral or good purposes that are causing these query suggestions to not show up, said Michael Ekstrand, an assistant professor at Drexel University who studies AI-powered information access systems. I don't have a reason not to believe Google's claim. I don't have a reason not to. I have no reason to. I don't have a reason to disbelieve? Man, sorry. I don't have a reason not to believe Google's claim that this is just normal systems for other purposes, particularly around political violence. We'll finish the article out, all right? I'll try and read it a little bit faster for you guys because I know that reading articles can be very boring for some people. Thorsten Joachims, I think I'm saying that right. Thorsten Joachims, a professor at Cornell University who researches machine learning for search engines, explained that autocomplete tools typically work by looking at queries people make frequently over a certain period of time, providing the most frequent completions of those queries. Beyond that, a search engine may automatically prune predictions based on concerns such as safety and privacy. This means that it's plausible that Google's autocomplete feature wouldn't have accounted for recent searches about the assassination attempt on Trump, especially if its systems indeed had not been updated since before the shooting. Depending on how big the window is that they're averaging over, that may simply not be a frequent query, Joachim said, and it may not be a candidate for autocompletion. He added that it's typical not to update a search model on a daily basis given the cost and technical risk involved. A 2020, man, it's so hard to read. I think it's like I think you yawn because you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain in a given time, and that's why you yawn. I'm yawning because I'm speaking, and I guess I'm not breathing well enough while I'm speaking while reading the article. This happens every time. All right. A 2020 Google blog post about its autocomplete feature describes how the system reflects previous searches and why users might see certain predictions, including those that are violent in nature. The post also explains that predictions may vary based on variables such as users' location, the language they speak, or rising interest in a topic. Both Ekstrand and Joachim's agreed that providing bias in a complex system like Google's search engine from the outside would be extremely difficult. It would require much more data than just a couple of searches, for example, and would risk setting off the company's protections against data scraping, reverse engineering, and fraud. In general, claims that platforms are taking particular targeted actions against specific people. Jesus, I wish that didn't happen. Claims that platforms are taking particular targeted actions against specific people on political bases are hard to substantiate. He said, sometimes I'm sure happen, but there's so many other explanations that it's difficult to substantiate such claims. Joachim's know that the demographics of Google's user base could impact the results of such a study if they skewed towards one side of the political aisle or another, and therefore search more of their political or their preferred candidates. In other words, the way the system works would make it difficult to probe the system. Technical issues aside, limiting autocomplete predictions as a method of political influence could simply be bad for business. Even if Google would like to do that, I think it would be a very bad decision because they could lose a lot of users. Ricardo Baez Yates, a professor at Northeastern University whose research includes web search and information retrieval. All right, we got through the article. So now we know there are a lot of different explanations that could be used to explain why it is. Google has one explanation about autocomplete results not being updated on a continual basis because of security risks, both for data scraping and reverse engineering their site. So that seems reasonable. It also seems like they have some protections to delist any search queries that could be seen as politically violent in nature, which also tracks with a lot of different things that we've seen both from them and from the government asking them to do that, even under Donald Trump's administration, especially under Donald Trump's administration. So that doesn't seem unlikely that that also happened. I also just don't think that this sort of thing is reasonable to assume it's real just off the bat, that there is some malicious intent behind it. I think that that's pretty insane because it would be so easy to like prove that they're doing that, it seems, right? Like, oh, look, we do this. And if there's no other reason, hey, thank you for 200 bits, Parallax. I'm so f***ed up from the rearranging guts comment earlier. Listen, I'm becoming a better person. I'm becoming a better person, and I'm going to stop using things like that, okay? I'm such a idiot. Unpin this message. Okay, we don't need to pin every message. So graphic, yeah, it was graphic, but like, did you notice how they didn't immediately say no? It took like me saying the silence from the no no's is so telling. Like, only then did they say, oh, well, of course not. That would be ridiculous. But you had to be prompted to say no. That's the problem. But I do have a future. I do have a career that I would like to have in at least one of two different fields that it would probably just be not a good idea to say things like that. And it's not a good look. There's probably better ways to do. His no wasn't even a real no. I know. Someone smarter than you disagrees. I did a Google News search about Donald Trump. Google News changed it to Harris Donald Trump and proceeded to show me only news that favors Harris over Donald Trump. Okay, it's not doing that. I just don't. Not something I judge for. Yeah, no. I am. people that I know and trust, conservatives that I know and trust say, you know, you probably shouldn't do that. They understand what I'm doing, but I shouldn't do it. And I listen to the people around me. I trust the people around me. But hey, Parallax, again, thank you for the 200 bits. Again, once again, for all the people watching, this is my only form of income right now. I am still on the job hunt, all right? I'm still sniffing out those jobs. I'm putting in the applications on Indeed. But if you guys want to help a brother out, especially because this is the last day of the month, if you guys want to give me some subarinos, if you guys want to gift some subs, if you guys want to use the donation link, your boy is poor. He moved across the country, and I am hungry, both literally and figuratively, to pay my bills and to eat. So if you guys are feeling generous and you guys want to help a brother out, there is a donation link, both on YouTube and on Twitch. Anyways, let's see what the quartering has to say about this. The only good, like, Kamala SVU. Is it on here? Someone upload it here? Hold on. I'm going to find this. I'm going to find this for you guys. Kamala SVU. Okay. It's not there. Where else can I find it? Oh, there we are. Oh, I found it. This is the only good music edit I've seen of Kamala Harris's laugh. I've seen, actually, way more than you would think. There's a lot of people who are making Kamala Harris laugh song mashups. If I type ass into Google as the third result, see, and isn't that a tragedy? Because there's so many great asses on the internet. Like, why would we want to see the stuff about the assassination attempt when we're typing in ass? Come on, man. This one is better? You haven't even listened to this one. How do you know that it's better? You know what? I'm going to watch yours first, and I'm going to tell you.
Are you prepared to be commander-in-chief?
Yes, I am, if necessary.
I'ma turn it up on the day that Joe die. I ain't trying to jinx, but he
Okay, this is AI rapping. This is not the same thing that I'm talking about, okay? But
running out of time. Put Donald in a cell because he running out of crimes.
Are you prepared?
So I think that one's fine. But this edit, the way they sync up the laugh, is very good.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. Coconut tree?
Sorry, one more detour. Moving on from the memes, going back. Sorry, Tron, this is going to be hell for you to edit, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Genuinely. Okay, back to this.
Now, on this channel, I am one of the few channels out there.
Now, do we want to make some predictions? Okay? Is he going to look at any kind of fact check like we did, where they talk about what it could be, what it probably is, what it probably isn't, using, data analysts and experts in the field of, search queries and shit like that? Is he going to do that? Or, no, you're going for it? No. I don't think he's his sister. I think that's a different content creator. You're thinking of pissing it into the floor. That's what this guy does, okay? Anyways, I'm going to make a prediction. This guy does not look for any explanation, and in the unlikely event that he does, and you know what? I will give him credit if he even does look for some kind of, way to disprove it. I would be shocked if he doesn't immediately discount it out of hand.
That have openly committed to continuing to follow what happened on July 13th. It's frustrating to see most mainstream media, and that's not just Fox, but it's Fox, CNN, MSNBC, every major talking head. In fact, a lot of even my fellow content creators on the internet platforms have no longer kept up on covering this event. And now
the reason why this has fallen to the wayside, just so you guys know, is because I think that of anyone having an assassination attempt on them, Trump is the least surprising person for it to happen to. So that's one thing. Also, there's just so little came of it, right? Like, it's obviously bad and it obviously is newsworthy, but he looks more like the doubling. Jesus Christ, Parallax. Okay, that's good. All right. But I lost my entire train of thought. That was good. Oh yeah, people are probably just like not that shocked by it. He wasn't seriously injured, right? The quarter pounder with cheesing, true. I have to stay on topic for my editor. I do it for my editor, okay? The Secret Service had resigned. Yeah, I mean like they've already had like consequences come out about this, right? No deeper conspiracy has come out. I think like the only new or what was the guy's name? I forget. It was like Crooks or something. Let me see here if they update on the FBI investigation of attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. There's only been like one update to that's like relevant to that doesn't involve the Secret Service's ups, right? While the investigation to date indicates the shooter acted alone, the FBI continues to conduct logistical investigative activity to determine if there were any co-conspirators associated with this attack. There's no current public safety concerns. The FBI has not identified a motive for the shooter's action, which is another reason people stop really paying attention, because if it was a Democrat, then this would still be news because they would have someone, to point to an attack. Right. But he was a registered Republican. So the Republicans stopped talking about that aspect. That was like the only thing that we learned about this kid. Right. And we couldn't find until recently. 1 second. Do they not have it on here? Thomas Matthew Crooks. That's his name. Damn. 1 second. Thomas Matthew Crooks. Search. Now, oh wait, this was just after. I think in like the past 2 or 3 days, they found a social media account associated with him. Is this like constantly updated? Or, I don't want to know about the Secret Service aspect. There we go. The FBI said Thomas Matthew Crooks may have hid anti-Semitic, anti-immigrant social page. Oh, cool. I have to pay for everything. Jesus Christ. Did I say something bad here? But he looks more like the doubling. Okay, it was just me laughing. Okay, good. I'm always scared that I'm going to say something bad and get rebanned immediately, dude. Jesus. Oh, really? Sorry. That's interesting. Oh, this is just Donald Trump. Hold on. Where's the search tab that I was looking? July 19th. Can we go to news and find something that's more recent? Hindustan Times? I don't know any of these. Okay, this is a Reuters repost. Got it. Thank God. We trust Reuters. The man who tried to assassinate Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump appears to have posted violent anti-Semitic and anti-immigration content online as a teenager, a senior FBI official told the U.S. Senate hearing on Tuesday. Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account which is believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019 to 2020 timeframe, adding that more than 700 comments were posted by the account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes to espouse political violence and are described as extreme in nature. I wish we had access to see what some of those things were, but because there's so little information, the point of what I'm trying to say is because there's so little information, and what information is coming out in very slow little trickles, people just aren't as... I tried letting him use my news accounts. I listen, we can retry and do that, but I forgot that happened. Sorry. Anyways, like there's reasons why this has fallen to the wayside in terms of news coverage. It's just because of the nature of who Donald Trump is, how unsurprising it is that someone would try to assassinate him, the relative lack of information about anything about the shooter. No one knows anything about him, it seems. So nobody knows. The account is disputed. Okay, so the account is disputed. So we might not even have that information, right? So hold on. Wait, what is this? Oh, this is conflicting accounts relating to social media account. I want to see what the disputing is. Oh, it was on Gab? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, they've released the name of it. Epic Microwave. Epic Microwave, of course. I forgot that Gab even existed. Didn't the owner of Gab go crazy at the end of 2020 or something? So there's disputing information. So we don't know anything about the shooter. We don't have any confirmed information about the shooter. That's just like bolstering what I'm trying to say here, which I'm getting way too caught up in the weeds. But we don't know anything. Nobody knows anything about the shooting. Trump didn't get seriously injured. So like there's not like a constant reminder walking around. Like the ear Band-Aid is already off. So people aren't seeing it every single moment of every single day when he's walking around. So of course people are going to stop paying as much attention to it. It's not playing as much of a role as you would think that it would. Yeah. You haven't been banned again already? Yeah. Listen, brother, I'm being careful. All right. But yeah, so like it's not like there's some conspiracy to hide all of this stuff. It's just the fact that there's not enough to go off of. Also, this race to blame shit is getting annoying. Yeah, the race to blame stuff is annoying, but I mean, if there was a time to like unequivocally show that like we know what the motives were and what he was doing it for and et cetera, I think that the attempted assassination of a presidential candidate would probably be that. Yellow sock gang. You know what? I'm actually considering keeping the yellow sock instead of putting an actual pop filter on. Just to freak people out.
Every major talking head. In fact, a lot of even my fellow content creators on the internet platforms have no longer kept up on covering this event. And now even Google is getting involved in, removing searches for people that want to learn more about it. We're also going to go over some of the burning questions that still exist that could end up cracking the case, and some other wild, some wild claims by, the FBI and CIA, because it's funny. Why was the FBI, why were they investigating whether or not, what actually hit Trump? Why were they even spending, the whole world could see,
Because you want to know every aspect of what went down, if they were aiming for Trump specifically, or if they were aiming for someone else, if he was incidental. Like, yeah, it might seem like a stupid question, but like you have to know every single thing about a crime scene to get a full picture of what's going on. You can't just like make assumptions on stuff.
In 4K. All right, so let me get into some of the interesting.
I mean, like even when I and everyone was making like these claims about like, oh, the bullet didn't actually clip Trump's ear. It was, he shot wide and it hit the teleprompter and the glass hit his ear, which seemed more likely because he didn't like rock it back and his ear doesn't look like it had that much damage to it. So I assumed like a bullet would do way more. But that's the only reason why I thought that. Not because it would make the attempt any less, bad, but just because, interesting. Shrapnel, yeah. It's fine to look into motive, but it seems Congress and the public are asking questions to look for political motive. Yeah, the political motive is like kind of important. Are asking questions to look for political motive as the presumption because he's Donald Trump. Of course, that is the presumption. Seeking ways to prove that presumption instead of looking into the actual motives. Well, everyone is looking into the actual motives, but we can't find actual motives. So all we can do is go off of the presumptions, which is like, if you're doing any kind of honest analysis, if someone tried to kill either Joe Biden or Donald Trump, the reason is likely political. It would be incredibly surprising if a 20-year-old had personal beef with Donald Trump to the point where he wanted to kill Donald Trump. Right? I keep on accidentally pinning messages because I highlight what I read. Let's say hypothetically he made comments towards one candidate or another. What relevance does that have unless it's somehow shown that those comments are directly tied to his motive? Well, yeah. Wait. Am I misunderstanding what you're saying? Let's say hypothetically he made comments towards one candidate or another. What relevance does that have unless it's somehow shown that those comments are directly tied to his motive? They would be part of piecing together what the motive was. I think it wasn't political, just wanting to make the biggest splash. He researched Biden too. That's possible, but I need you to, not totally disagreeing that it could be. What I'm saying is that there is a right way to look into political motive as a viable motive versus looking into the views to somehow point to blame the party and to somehow point to, and instead of seeking the motive. Oh, I understand what you're saying now. We agree You're just wording it in a very strange way to me. Yeah, I think that we like 100% agree, but like, I guess I think it's just way more reasonable for people to have like a baseline assumption based off of who he is and the event that there was an attempted assassination at, you know? All right, let's go.
Cover-ups. And because of these cover-ups, all I can ask is that you leave a like on the video, comment on it, and just as importantly, you're so throttled. You're so like everything is so bad for you. They're censoring you in real time right now. Share it out. Pick whatever your favorite social media platform is and put it out there.
You have 1.71 million subscribers. You're so censored, my guy.
And subscribe and follow the channel. I will cover this as long as I can continue to get information. Also, you know, if you're an insider, I've started having some local law enforcement email me, it looks like, so I will report on it. You know, you have someone out there that's willing to report on this. Here's some of the weird stuff that we've seen from intelligence agencies, okay? We had, what was this, Friday?
Wait, hold on. I want to see what his search history
from intelligence
was.
agencies. Okay.
His recent searches were MK Ultra CIA, Moist Critical Logan Paul, Kamala Record Store, Axios Borders are, Can I Be Mean Trump mean. What is Twipples? I like seeing people's search history, sorry.
Okay. We had, what was this, Friday? What day was it exactly? You know, yes, you know, the FBI was forced to investigate and report on Friday that it was indeed a bullet that struck him. Was anybody on the planet asking that question?
Yes.
Was anybody saying, gee, I wonder what that was? No, it was a fake news, weird narrative spread by the leftist mainstream media like CNN and MSNBC that it was shrapnel. Weirdos like Joy Reid getting on their platforms and saying, we don't even know what it was. It could have been shrapnel. Nobody with a pair of eyes. Nobody with a pair.
I'm sorry, Mr. Quartering. Did you have like ultra 4K high def, like 5,000 frames per second footage that you could slow down and specifically see the bullet flying towards Donald Trump? No? Do your keen eyes see in the 720p video from a phone 200 feet away, zoomed in? You somehow have the eyes to see the bullet flying through the air? Anybody with eyes can tell that it wasn't shrapnel? No. It's likely that it was the bullet. The FBI confirmed that it was the bullet. It's probably like, you know, not unreasonable to believe that it was the bullet, but can you conclusively say without a shadow of a doubt, without any more information than the video that you saw, that there was not just shrapnel that hit his ear? Shut the f up.
Pair of eyes was like, gee, I wonder what hit him. But nope, the FBI had to investigate that because that's normal.
There was an image allegedly where the bullet rips through the air. Well, the bullet, you might see like a bullet path. Maybe he was using hypersonic ammunition that created, you know, a jet stream behind it, right? Well, did anything in the environment break? Well, I believe a teleprompter did get shattered. And I don't know at what point, but I believe that was where that idea came from. They actually caught the bullet in frame, but can you tell from that still, that it was going to hit Donald Trump? My lefty is showing? I'm sorry, I don't remember what the term is when something is going above the speed of sound and it's breaking the sound barrier and there's some sort of, you know, that cloud that forms around the plane, right? I'm pretty sure that can happen with some bullets and shit, right? But I don't remember what that specific thing is called. It wasn't subsonic ammunition, I don't think. Yeah, but there's like a specific name for the vapor cone, is all I'm saying.
Now, of course, the CIA has come out to deny.
Was there even a question that Trump was shot at? I don't think that was the case. I think that most people believe that he was shot at, you know? He's desperate. Look at his chart and subs for the last couple of days. It's been 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Is that bad? June. They went down for some reason. Oh, this is just how many they gained. Gotcha. 40K subs down? Monthly gained subscribers. Yes, I'm a human. Thank you. It feels like he's been growing. I don't think that he's... It's 33% down. Yeah, I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, we're continuing.
That they used MK Ultra on this person.
True.
Well, golly gee willikers, if the CIA denied doing it, end of story. Leave a like on the video. It's over. We know. No.
I'm so irritated by this sort of thing. Like, there's just no. It's unfalsifiable. It's unfalsifiable. The CIA can deny doing something, but if you just like automatically distrust literally everything that the government ever does, then the government always does everything. Except for the things that they don't do, in your opinion, even though they are doing something. What do you expect? How many writers or intellectuals? And listen, I'll give you grace on this one, Doghouse, all right? I'll give you right-wingers some grace on this. There's very few like news alt media correspondents on either side of the political aisle that I think are good places to get news or opinions from, right? With myself being the exception. But, I can't wait for the FBI to grill us when Panda does this next. Oh, Jesus Christ. Chill, dude. You know what? It's kind of weird. We haven't seen Panda all day long. That's not normal. That's weird. You're going to summon him, Nair. Chill.
Oh, that the CIA was not involved. They said they weren't. Leave a like on the video right now because I've brought you the absolute evidence. Everything's good now. You can just go back to watching your bread and eating your bread and watching the circus. The CIA has said they did not use their very public MK Ultra program that has been declassified. They said
the MK Ultra program was declassified and it ended in the 70s. Right? MK Ultra halted in 1973. It began in 1953 and was halted in 1973. MK Ultra is no longer still in effect. What is this guy talking about?
Because
One second.
Normal. Now, of course, the CIA has come out to deny that they used MK Ultra on this person. Well, golly gee.
Does this guy even know what MK Ultra is? Because I'm pretty sure the only thing that MK Ultra was them trying to find a truth serum. And they used various different, substances like acid, LSD, shrooms. They used all sorts of shit like that. Sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture was preceded by Project Artichoke to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken individuals and force confessions through brainwashing and psychological torture. And it's no longer happening. I'm pretty sure we have a good accounting of what Matthew Thomas Crooks was doing for most of his life. It's just that he has a very uneventful life. So when they have had time to kidnap him while he's living with his parents, for them not to notice, to MK Ultra him into being a Manchurian candidate shooter. My cousin informed me that that Fox News is too liberal. Man, let me flip the script. If the government was shown to lie more than tell the truth, wouldn't you be more likely to be correct in presuming the opposite of their... They are, but I would have to think about that, but I think yes, they are more truthful than not because there are so many avenues by which people can fact check the government. There are so many ways by which the government could get for lying. And when they do get fact checked for lying, it's really bad. But the problem is when they're caught lying, it's like a big story and everybody freaks the fuck out. But they miss all of the they miss all of the like truths that are told along the way, right? So if you go like 3 years and the government's lying about one thing, but on every other public statement that they're saying, they're giving factual information, they're telling you exactly what's going on, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even if there's spin to it, they are telling you the information. Because that one lie over the course of 3 years amongst 1,000 truths, that whole fiasco with Facebook losing their user data to Russia or whatever caught them a fine that amounted to 1 day of revenue. Because there's probably statutes for like what the maximum and minimum and all of that stuff is. Now, it's not to say that that's good or that they shouldn't have fined them more than that. But yeah, I don't have a statement on that, but that's so completely like so far away from what we're talking about here, right? I think that like people's brains got broken by like the Iraq War and all of the fallout of that. And now everything that the government ever says is a lie. There's nothing that you can ever trust. Instead, we can trust, Joe Rogan on the internet. 1 second. Okay. Let me see here. The handlers for MK Ultra moved onto other things. Okay. But what does that mean to this? Okay. Let me see here. Let's keep going.
Gee Willikers, if the CIA denied doing it, end of story. Leave a like on the video. It's over. We know that the CIA was not involved. They said they weren't. Leave a like on the video right now because I've brought you the absolute evidence. Everything's good now. You can just go back to watching your bread and eating your bread and watching the circus. The CIA has said they did not use their very public MK Ultra program that has been declassified.
It's not still in operation. It's not still in operation. So yeah, they probably didn't use MK Ultra. They didn't go back to, 1969 and then teleport Thomas Matthew Crooks to 1969 in a period of time that nobody was able to notice him missing and him come back seemingly just as normal as he was before in order to assassinate Donald Trump.
Said they didn't do it. Everybody can sleep. Everyone can sleep good at night. FBI has said, yes, indeed, it was a bullet, as if anyone was asking. And now the CIA has come out to say, oh, well, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Denial is practically the new endorsement, but this is what they've said. Okay. Now Google, this is going around. Now I've tried several different ways to confirm this. So when you're watching this, maybe let me know if it works for you. There's been a lot of videos out there, and you can see even with browsers that appear to be in incognito mode, they are.
I can't respond to everything because I kind of do want to get through this video because next we need to move on to the actual subject of today's stream. But this will be the last thing that I directly respond to. All right. My point being that if this Facebook slap on the wrist is the sort of punishment you can expect for this sort of falsehood, you must presume that the incentives for would be at minimum perceived as negligible. Show me the last exit. Well, that's not necessarily true because the financial slap on the wrist might be bad, but the promise of, hey, thank you so much for the $5, Abby. I really appreciate that because this is my only form of income right now. And the alerts are working for YouTube, but not for Twitch. I don't know why that is, but I appreciate that, buddy. But just because the financial slap on the wrist was very minor, all things considered, you have to think about the idea that, well, they might have gotten a financial slap on the wrist, but there might have been, the promise of if this happens again, you're going to be criminally, someone's going to be criminally held liable. I don't know the facts of that case, right? But there might have been some understanding between Facebook and the government that said, hey, listen, this is what your punishment is now because this is the first time this has happened. If it happens again, something really bad is going to happen to you. If we don't see some kind of massive shift in the way that you do your cybersecurity to protect Americans' data, then you're going to, or we're going to pull you in front of Congress and we're going to berate you and then we're going to pass some legislation that you don't want to happen. And that'll be way worse than literally anything you could imagine, So that's what I'm thinking. Show me the last execution carried out for a politician or CIA op lying to the American people, figurative execution or otherwise. Yeah, but I guess that would have to be very, very blatant and very, very blatantly illegal and stuff like that. Yeah, we have to look at it because I don't know. I don't have deep history into every scandal that the government's ever been in. That's just not something I've ever taken time to look into, Anyways, let's continue.
Blocking people trying to research this. When you Google that the attempt on Donald
Trump. Now again, remember that wager, that guess, that 1 second. What was what? At the beginning of this, I was like, do you think that he's going to look up anything that could be a reasonable explanation? Because it took us just a couple of seconds to find multiple articles. And we read through the entire AP fact check on this, right? And it's not saying that it definitely didn't happen.
Want Ethereum in your portfolio?
Be quiet. They're not saying that it's impossible that Google did try to throttle those search queries, but according to Google itself and a bunch of independent, web dev people, seems like there's way more explanations that are way more reasonable. Anyways, let's see if he brings up any counter argument to Google just wanting to have everyone believe that Donald Trump didn't get assassinated for some reason.
Trump, it does not come up as an auto-suggested search at the time of this post. The cover-up continues. Welcome to 1984. Here's the video. I'm not gonna play the music. You can see they try to type in this, okay, and then it brings up Reagan, Fidel Castro, Gerald Ford.
He didn't want to say the H word.
Like, hey, we're Google. This is we pride ourselves on providing people the important information that they're looking for. Obviously, the searches for this term have never been higher, okay, but they're like, we're not gonna have it in.
If you're still using Google search engine in 2024, that's your fault. Listen, it's convenient. All right, gets me what I need most of the time.
We're not gonna have it in autocomplete. I mean, you can type the whole thing in there. Nothing. You got all the way down to TRUMP. Nothing. I suspect.
And once again, the explanation for this is, let's go ahead and just look at what Google told the AP that its autocomplete feature has automated protections regarding violent topics, including for searches about theoretical assassination attempts. The company further explained that its systems were out of date even prior to July 13th, meaning that the protections already in place couldn't take into account that an actual assassination attempt occurred. And the reason it was out of date was pretty reasonable. Where was it? Here it is. Both Ekstrand and Joachim's agreed that proving bias in a complex system like Google's search engine from the outside would be extremely difficult. It would require much more data than just a couple of searches, for example, and would risk setting off the company's protections against data scraping, reverse engineering, and fraud, which, if you don't want those things to happen through Google, it's no more convenient than any other major search engine. Yeah, but it's the default on all my stuff. And I don't have as much computer know-how or care as most people. I say as most people. I'm probably part of the most people because Google is still the biggest search engine. But it seems like there are very reasonable explanations for why it's been controversial if Google should do this, but Google said they auto-block suggestions for violent or sexual terms. They try to be family-friendly. The reason why I used an older article shows we knew about this for years. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I was just looking for something specific about this to see if there was an explanation. Okay. I hate to be a conspiracy brain here, but I think that you just have to be agnostic about this. I wouldn't trust Google to be able to accurately investigate their programs. Well, it's not just Google. It's also other experts in the field of web development and web searching. So those people said that it seems unlikely that they would be able to do this pretty... they don't have a good reason to do that,
This is also true on YouTube. So if you're a YouTube viewer, make sure you're helped by always subscribing to my channel, turning notifications on, and sharing the videos.
Yeah, but it would be a reasonable explanation if it was malicious, but you have to prove that they're being malicious, which you can't really prove. There's no proof of that. And in order to make the claim, then you have to...
This is Google in real time. I mean, what will they say? You can see on president, nope, nothing there. Multiple variations of this search query, nothing. In fact, they present Truman instead of Trump. Now, in real time, it appears that this is still being blocked. So I don't know, what else you need to see. Why is Google blocking this? Don't you think Americans are looking for this information? By the way, if you Google it, there's 2 articles showing up. You mean to tell me the entire media apparatus has only written 2 articles in the last 3 days about this? When I'm looking for more information, if I go to Google, right? And then you see mine, but that's because it's a previous search. Here's one from 4 hours ago where Trump defends the Secret Service agent. Well, of course he has to. For him, he still has to rely on them to protect his life. 10 hours ago on Fox, 5 hours ago. So 3 articles today. Here's one brand new one from USA Today.
Because there's no more information.
There's most of the articles that Google is serving up. There's not a single new piece of information?
No, there's not another single, there's no more information.
Here's USA Today running cover. We're talking about Secret Service after the Trump incident. Why aren't we talking about weapons? What?
This is an opinion piece. This is an opinion. This isn't news. He has no media literacy.
Watch what they're doing now. This is what they're doing. I told you, if you've been watching my videos and you've been watching my streams, what did I tell you they were going to do? They were going to go after your 2A, and then they're going to go after encrypted applications, and they're going to go after foldable stocks. That's what they're going to do. And look at that, 12 minutes ago, real time, That is a brand new article that came out since basically, I've been covering this. That's exactly what they're doing. Now they're shifting the narrative. Isn't that interesting? Why are we talking about what appears to say? Why are they talking about what appears to say, what appears to be? Now they're like, oh, well, let's talk about let's get our grab on. Look at this. We got David Hogue, everybody. Got to get David Hogue out there. Look at this. They're trotting out this guy.
It's an opinion piece. It's not news. It's an opinion.
This is the same media that's telling you she was never the border czar. Watch them in real time while I'm recording this. They're like, all right, beep, 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 beep. Okay, we're gonna talk about. All right, nobody cares about the colossal security failure or how this guy learned all.
Except for all of the news articles that you showed just a second ago. Trump and JD say they're going to push crypto if elected. Oh God.
Everything. Blah blah blah. Nobody knows anything about the guy that did it. Nobody's questioning the parents. Let's just talk about infringing on Americans.
Listen, we're gonna have to speed run the rest of stream. Okay, we're gonna get through this and then we're gonna go into the immigration stuff because I didn't realize that there was a time constraint for streaming today.
Constitutional rights. I mean, I could have, if I was a betting man, I'd be very rich. It's like, now they're like, well, Trump's defending Secret Service. Well, yeah, he has to. What is he supposed to do? They still have to protect him. Of course, that's what he's doing.
Or maybe he actually respects the Secret Service. Like every single thing, every single fact, every single news article goes through his brain, and all of the important information gets filtered out to it's like filtering out. It's like if you went to the forest, right? And you couldn't find any clean water. And so you went to a stream and you got 2 bottles and you put sand and then you put charcoal and then you put big rocks and then you put another layer of sand and another layer of charcoal to purify the water. But you somehow filter out all of the water you filter out all of the water and then you just drink the sludge at the top that's left over. That's what watching the quartering is like. There's all of these news things that he could be clicking on that could give you the information that you need or that you want to find, but instead you're throwing all of that out, even though it's on the screen, you're throwing all of that out and you're getting this guy's, the refuse. You're getting the refuse, just the sludge and the rocks in the sand at the top.
You see Liz at TikTok. Hi, Google. Why are you censoring searches on this attempt on his life? You're trying to memory hole it? Everybody, oh God, I love monetized Twitter now. Everyone just posts the exact same screenshot, repost it. Anyway, why do you think that is? At least Amuse put his own rap on it. You can type it all the way out. It makes no difference to Google. So petty. Failures in communication. Local SWAT details accounts of the rally attempt. We were supposed to get a face-to-face briefing with Secret Service members whenever they arrived, and that never happened. Secret Service did not coordinate with local law enforcement.
So we're reading an article about a separate topic? It's still under the same umbrella. Yeah, it's about the Trump assassination attempt, but I thought we were talking about the fact that Google is throttling this, and you're here reading a news article about this, saying that there's no more information, nothing is coming out about this. How do people watch this and not realize how stupid it is?
What do you think that is? I don't know the answer to that. Okay? I don't know the answer to that. I can't know the answer to that. But why do you think that is? Why do you think that might be? Why do you think that maybe they didn't coordinate with them? I don't know. I can't make any might be. I don't know the answer to that. Members, whenever they arrived, and that never happened. Secret Service did not coordinate with local law enforcement. Why do you think that is? I don't know the answer to that. Okay? I don't know the answer to that.
So are you at all curious what the actual answer is? Because you can use the Google search bar and you can look up what sort of or you could just watch the congressional hearings yourself. I know that you're really lazy, but you could just watch the actual you could still be mad at the Secret Service and say that they're a bunch of pigs, but you would know what they said about this.
I can't know the answer to that. But why do you think that is?
You can know the answer to that if you watch the congressional hearings.
Do you think that might be? Why do you think that maybe they didn't coordinate with them? I don't know. I can't make any guesses. We were supposed to get face-to-face. Never happened.
Well, you can't even guess. Maybe there was just bad coordination, or maybe they just got too comfortable and they shouldn't have been. That would be just as bad of an indictment of the Secret Service as anything that you're saying, right? And that would be a guess. That would be at least, a reasonable guess. I don't think that any good information has come out, to be honest, about the Secret Service mishaps, but
So we think it was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking they were wrong because it never happened. They explained that they did what they could to try and thwart the attack, but now here we have to live with the failure. It's like these people talk about it like, well, I bought my kid an ice cream cone and there was 2 scoops of ice cream on it and one of them fell into the ground. Oopsies. Oh, I mean, in my opinion, every single member that was there that day should be getting deposed. Every one of them on live TV, especially the ones in that building, especially the one that left early that day, especially the 2 that left their post at the absolute perfect time for Lee Tardy Oswald to go on the roof and take the shot.
The Oswald name is possibly the funniest thing to come out, like in the immediate aftermath of that. The only funny thing was that nickname.
I want to know that the guy that conveniently forgot his, he went outside to take a leak or whatever, forgot his ID card. So then the other guy abandoned his post, which is like day 1 military stuff. You don't abandon your post, right? Just chose to abandon his post and disappear for what must have been at least 10 or 15 minutes. What was he doing? This isn't like it was 3 hours before the event. Trump was on the stage. Look at all the information we had 2 weeks after the towers. Look at all the information we had just 2 weeks after the towers. We had information that night. We knew who did it, right? We knew everything basically I think by now we knew we were going to war, and we know nothing. Why was Donald Trump allowed to take the stage if there were active questions about security? Good question. Why and how was the rooftop?
Oh no, wait, what did he say? Sorry, I must have been reading chat.
The event. Trump was on the stage. Look at all the information we had 2 weeks after the towers. Look at all the information we had just 2 weeks after the towers. We had information that night. We knew who did it, right? We knew everything basically
None of the people who hijacked the planes on 9/11 survived. So someone else had to claim responsibility. So yes, we probably had more information then because they said who they were, what they did, and why they did it.
I think by now we knew we were going to war, and we know nothing.
I don't think that we would go to war if a domestic terrorist shot the president. Who would we go to war with? Our own citizens?
Why was Donald Trump allowed to take the stage if there were active questions about security? Good question. Why and how was the rooftop not secured? Good question. What made him do his attempt? What made him do this? Did he leave behind a manifesto? I could take one look at this guy's face and tell you had a manifesto. Look at him. There's no way he disappeared without writing a manifesto. I would bet.
And yet you have no proof that they're hiding anything. Why would they? If the FBI were to find a manifesto, they would love that. They want to be the people that find these facts. They want to be the ones. They want to show everyone, hey guys, we're totally still worth, funding in the federal government. We're doing good things. We found a manifesto. We proved who it was, where they were, and why they did it.
Bet a large sum of money on it. Where is it? You mean to tell me, looking at this guy who looks like he spends 23 hours a day on Reddit, that he didn't have a manifesto? I don't believe you. Who, if anyone, was Crooks communicating with during these encrypted apps? Well, we know he's using encrypted apps. Who was he talking to? Who was he working with? How did he learn how to make these improvised devices? It's been 2 weeks and we know nothing.
There's answers in those paragraphs, Quartering. My guy, you're reading the beginning where they ask a question and then there's paragraphs under that may give you the answers if you read them.
And if Trump doesn't win the presidency, by the way, we're never going to know anything. They're going to try to keep this covered up as long as they can. Well, I'm going to keep covering it. That's why if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel you're watching right now or follow it, because I'm going to keep covering it. I'm going to keep doing what I can to keep the pressure on, because this is insane.
Okay. What a horrible dive into the worst kind of alt media news person. My God, I can't believe there was nothing of substance there. And most of what he was complaining about, you could just do a Google search and find it. You look like a Reddit mod, Jeremy, and you gotta judge someone's looks. True. Yes, I know. But see, when it comes to like engaging with conservatives, like again, like I'm hyping you guys up super hardcore, not just because I like you guys and know you guys, but because genuinely there are very few conservatives that I've interacted with that don't engage with this same kind of thought process, right? And to be fair, it's the same for like left-leaning people. I say left-leaning. I think it's more like for the leftists. Liberals still do have conspiratorial thinking, but like, it's so hard to have a conversation with like a conservative that's a Trump supporter about stuff like this because it's always, well, we have so many questions and none of them are getting answered. Well, instead of a debate, it's just going to be me going through, like looking up news articles, reading them out loud and saying, okay, well, it looks like we have an answer for that. Do we have any other questions about it? Like, yeah, I'm not lumping you all together. I'm saying you're one of the good ones. You should look up some Vietnam War crimes just so you love this country less, so you can actually just dispassionately argue with these people. Maybe. Okay. Now it's time for us to do some reading, okay? Actually, should we... I really want to go over the Kamala Harris border czar stuff. Let me see what he said. What pages? First 5 pages are the main doc, and the other 2 to 3 are just Harris generally. So this is just the border. So this is the main part of the argument right here. From here down to here. Didn't have a place for this little cherry on top, but 6 Democrats also voted to condemn her for her work as the border czar as well, meaning this bipartisan condemnation has both parties and members of almost every media outlet using this term to describe her. Yeah, I want to know where border czar came from. People were saying that it was totally normal to call people like border czar or something like that. Okay, so let's read my debate opponent for tomorrow's debate outline, which they gave me permission to look at and all that stuff. I'm totally allowed to. So, Kamala Harris, border czar. Let's look into this. Czar is a colloquial term. In the United States, the informal term czar, or less often czar, this is so strange that, like, I'm a political science student. My entire life right now and for the past couple of years has been politics. And I've never heard someone called like the border czar or, the pharmaceutical czar or whatever. Okay. Czar, sometimes spelled czar, is an informal title used for certain high-level officials in the United States and the United Kingdom, typically granted broad power to address a particular issue. The title is usually treated as gender-neutral, although the technically correct Russian term for a female title holder would be czarina. Ooh. Yeah, I know what czar is, okay? I know what that is. I just never heard it used in terms of like the United States, okay? I know what a czar is. In the United States, czars are generally executive branch officials appointed by the head of the executive branch, such as the president for the federal government or the governor of a state. Some czars may require confirmation without Senate approval or not, or with Senate approval or not. Some appointees outside the executive branch are called czars as well. Specific instances of the term are often a media creation. In the United Kingdom, the term is more loosely used to refer to a high-profile appointments who devote their skills to one particular area. Okay, I understand the industry czar. Okay. I just never heard of people use that term in the United States. This part sounds completely made up. Wait, which part? This part? I don't know enough about like early 20th century, like pre-World War I. I don't know a lot about it. Even during World War I, that my history is a little bad. Anyways, let's keep going. Is employed in media and popular usage to refer to high-level executive branch officials who oversee a particular crazy field or a particular policy field. There have never been any U.S. government offices with the formal title czar. The earliest known was in the administration of Franklin Roosevelt. Oh, mine says something different. My Wikipedia says something different. Hey, wait, you cited Wikipedia. Come on now. I wish that was what we were raging about. Yeah. Imagine using small text but not wide width. I don't know how to change anything on this, okay? I can zoom in for you. Does that make you better? Does that make you happier? Get some glasses, okay? I've embraced the term, but during Obama, there was some controversy about Obama's usage of czars from the GOP, and the usage of them seemingly fell off pretty hard after that. Oh, well, that's why. With Trump having the lowest amount of czars of any president in my lifetime. The GOP said Obama's czars were overstepping their mandate and tried to regulate the unofficial position. Okay, gotcha. So what is the mandate of a czar? What do they do? A czar in the United States government is the point person on a particular issue. They are not in charge of the day-to-day aspects that executive agencies cover, but coordinate different individuals and agencies towards a particular agenda broadly. This branch does not require an official title or someone to be sworn in by Congress, but in the past, some of these czar positions have been turned into official positions, but generally, it is not something appointed or sworn in. The whole amnesia thing on the left right now about administration czars is weird. Well, it seems like it went out of popular usage before I was interested in politics, but like Obama's administration, like I wasn't like getting deep into politics. I was always interested in it, but I was never deep into politics until like, I want to say I don't think it was just 2016. It was a little bit later than that. I mean, I was more interested in it, but I got like deep into it and started changing my major to political science in 2021. Started streaming in 2019. So I was more and more interested in it. But yeah. So it's not like amnesia, but yeah. Maybe it's because it's an inconvenience to older lefties and simply a point of ignorance for younger people. Yeah, I think it's I can't speak to older lefties or left-leaning individuals, but for younger people, yeah, I haven't heard that term used since I've become like going deep into politics on stuff, you know? But it doesn't sound like, it sounds like it's a neutral term. It doesn't sound like it's like an attack necessarily. But I guess like the reason why people are like up in arms is because there is some amount of amnesia or like just ignorance of the term. And it sounds like they're trying to appoint her like the, you know, executor of evil Kamala Harris on the border, you know? Oh, it's not a pejorative term at all? Yeah, but like my immediate thought when I hear someone say like, oh, she's the border czar, like makes me think, what the f- does that mean? Why are we calling people czars all of a sudden? It seems like, yeah, it's dictator-esque sounding, but I understand that it's not a pejorative necessarily. Yeah, like I understand, like I understood what they were trying to get across with it, but I didn't understand why specifically czar. You know, that's the only thing for me. Now, what that agenda is determined by the president and usually aimed at some sort of issue that is in the media at that moment to reassure the people that the administration is on the task to coordinate activities within the government to address the immediate challenges. I'm going to read some of these articles off stream, but that one I'm going to read off stream, but we'll read some of them on stream. Okay. In summary, this title and post of czar is a term used by the media of some appointed person, blah, blah, blah. Actually, a czar, and more of a term to use to summarize this point person and the issue they are appointed to. At the surge at the border. What did Biden say when he appointed Kamala, and what was her full list of responsibilities? Did he specifically say we're going to turn her into the border czar? That's interesting if he did. Well, we might read this here in a second. Control F, but I'm just curious to see what czar. No matches. Okay, so he doesn't specifically mention that here. Got it. As an epithet to characterize power-hungry politicians. Oh, hold on to that link too. Continue to the site. 30th of January, 2023. Okay, we're going to read what based off of the White House briefing, we're going to read what he says, and then we'll read the actual thing. Biden claims that he is appointing Harris. He said that she is going to lead our efforts with Mexico and Northern Triangle to lead our efforts with Mexico and the Northern Triangle and the countries that are going to need help in stemming the movement of so many folks, stemming the migration to our southern border. Clearly, he states that she is going to be coordinating with Mexico and working directly on migration to the southern border. He is talking about how we need to give money and aid to these nations to build their nations up, and we can get into turning these nations into welfare states as well. Okay, the editorializing. Okay, I got you. Biden talks about, oh no, I don't want to Nope. X. Talks about himself and what. Talks about the GOP a bit, but finally gets back into saying that this is an effort to address the current surge that is already at the border, as well as preventing future surges, meaning 2 tasks. He says in the speech that she has agreed to work with these nations on their immigration system and whatnot, which she did and had a little impact, arguably, but he clearly states that she is currently already in talks with Mexico and working directly on the border. He clearly states that she is already in talks with Mexico working on our southern border and the surge already here. I feel like we're repeating a bunch, but maybe it's because he's copying and pasting stuff. And this is also like a first draft. It's not supposed to be perfect. We're already talking with Mexico about that. She's already done that. We're going to be dealing with a full team now that we have to be able to deal with the problem here at home. He said because of her background as DA, she's equipped to handle the situation specifically at the border, upholding human rights, but also working against the organized crime element. He correctly states it is not her full responsibility or job, but she is the point person. So it's not her full responsibility and job, but she's leading the effort because I think the best thing to do is to put someone who, when he or she speaks, they don't have to wonder about, is that where the president is? When she speaks for me. Doesn't have to check with me. She knows what she's doing, and I hope we can move along. Or is this AI? No, I think this guy typed this out while he was at work or something. When she was appointed by Biden, he clearly stated that part of her job was to focus on the southern border. The surge already here, and the cartel is bringing them here. And to work with Mexico, which she already was in the process of to figure out how to handle the current border situation at home. How did Kamala do? And we'll see what... It's already 7:49. Okay, we might just be able to read his thing here. I might not be able to do any actual research myself. I might have to leave this this window open overnight so I make sure I don't lose anything. Or I could put them like a tabs folder, right? Rip, time flies. Well, I thought that I had a little bit more time today, but way to go. Oh no, we're gonna keep reading. Don't go anywhere, all right? We're still here. We're still here. Also, really quick, once again, here we go with the shilling. All right. I hate shilling. Don't like shilling. Don't like telling you guys to give me money, but I'm doing it. All right. Your boy just moved cross country. This is my only form of income at this current moment, even though I'm sitting out job applications. This is what is going to be putting food on my table, food in my cat's stomachs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're all looking for jobs, but this is how I'm getting money. How many subs to wax your nipples on stream? Is that a legitimate query? Because I'm not opposed to it. It's going to be a lot, though. I've been asking everyone. If it's a legitimate thing, I'm not going to say no. Because, again, this is, until I find a job, this is all I got. Make it a sub goal? Well, listen, I'll take it all at once or nothing, okay? 10 subs is a lot. 10 subs is $25 for me. F you. All right. Here in 2024, we find... Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I got to focus on reading this, all right? Because I don't have much time on stream, and I do want to get through some of this because I need to. Sondsol was trying to go e-girl on us. Very true. See, the problem is the only hair that I have... I have some hair on my stomach, but it's not like it goes all the way down. I have, a patch straight across, all right? So waxing just my nipples would be really hard. Okay. Well, we learned in 2021 that she was working with Mexico to curb immigration at the southern border. Here in 2024, we find the Biden administration is being asked by Mexico to give Latin nations $20 billion more on top of yearly payments, remove all sanctions and trade embargoes from Venezuela and Cuba, and give amnesty to 10 million illegal immigrants already in the United States. So, throwing up, not an image I wanted to think about. Listen, it's not that bad, all right? I'm a handsome fella. Being asked by Mexico to give Latin nations $20 billion more on top of yearly payments depends on what that's being used for, right? The only thing I know about specifically are remove all sanctions and trade embargoes from Venezuela and Cuba, right? I know that some trade embargoes and sanctions on Venezuela were lifted in return for proof that they're doing a free and fair election, right? And people are slamming the Biden administration over this, right? Is important. I'll get into that. But what was I saying? Catch you later, Doghouse. what was I saying? Oh yeah, but for Venezuela, like everyone's like, well, look what happened. They didn't even have a free and fair election, and the United States was giving them, money because they took off the trade embargo or the sanctions and stuff. And it's like, well, actually, they stopped giving that. They reimposed those sanctions and those embargoes in January because there was not enough good faith shown on the Venezuelan government side that they were going to have a free and fair election. So no, we did try in good faith to lift some sanctions and trade embargoes on Venezuela, not on Cuba because they didn't have an election that we could leverage, right? But so that one is true, and we tried a good faith thing, and they didn't follow through with it, and we stopped even before like all the bad shit went down. So that's pretty okay. I think that like giving these like Central American countries that are having all their people flood over here, like that is a thing that is happening, right? The conditions in those countries are pretty bad, really bad crime, but building up those nations and helping them with policing and military against the organized crime there could be a legitimate way to help people stay in that country. In addition to some stuff that we need to do here at home, but because I don't think diplomacy is going to be the only thing. We do have to change some of the laws in terms of immigration into the United States. Like most notably, the way that we apply for asylum, or I say we, the way that people apply for asylum, The bottom line is A, appointed as borders are, B, didn't show up for work. Wait, what do you mean the bottom line? Oh, you're saying, okay, I got you. Well, hold on. We haven't even gotten to anything yet, okay? So in almost 3 years, we see a record surge of migrants from Mexico who was in talks with Harris prior to March 2021, still making demands to make an effort, meaning very little was done on this front in that time. Wait, how do you, based off of that, I don't know how you could make that assumption. Maybe there's more. Maybe we'll have to click on this as well. I'm going to have to read all of this off stream, unfortunately. I just want to see what this guy said. But I don't know how you can make that claim based off of the things that you said before. I am so sorry. I'm not trying to pick anything up. Yeah, your bottom line. I understood the second time I read it. Fuck helping brown countries to prevent brown people from coming. Well, to be clear, there's very little that we can actually do in other countries. We should work on that aspect of things, but we can't just dump money into the area and hope that fixes it, because some people aren't leaving because of instability with gang violence. Some people are leaving because they know that they can get way more money here in the United States. And the thing that we could do is actually address this at home and change our law in regards to how people apply for asylum, which hasn't been changed since its first inception back in 1965 or 64, which was a treaty that we made with the UN. I keep on feeling like I hear the door open, but I'm not hearing the door open. As a direct response to the Holocaust in a UN resolution that hey, all these countries, we are complicit in the Holocaust in some degree because we turned all these Jews away. We knew that they were, getting persecuted and stuff like that, but we did nothing. And we should make some way for there to be asylum in our countries. Each country gets to develop their own way of, how to apply for asylum. But that's how we in the United States voted to create asylum laws back in the 60s. Things have changed. We shouldn't get rid of asylum because it's the moral thing to do, and nobody says that we should completely just turn away everyone that is seeking legitimate asylum, but we should revamp our asylum system, revamp our asylum laws, which is what we tried to do, but they didn't want to, the Republicans, because Trump told them not to. Anyways, I think you should be held until your claim has been verified. I think that the maximum amount of time was 6 weeks under the bill that they were, which is to be fair, there's probably going to be some backlog and there's going to be some legal that you're going to have to get around. So I think 6 weeks is probably fine. I don't know about a month. That might be too fast for anyone to get anything together. But yeah, I don't know about held until your claim has been verified, because I don't know what the logistics of that would look like. And I based off of everything that has happened at the border in the past 20 years, I think that it would be both bad optically and logistically. But there's probably something that you can do, right? There's probably different things. So I don't like wholly disagree with you. Biden's speech. Oh, yeah. Now, in Biden's speech, he claims that this border surge under the previous administration. Let me just text one thing. Claims that this border surge started under the previous administration, but is not specific as to from where. But we can see from the data in 2019, migration from the Northern Triangle. What is the Northern Triangle? Does he have a link talking about that? Northern Triangle immigration. What area does that? Yeah, below. I missed the first 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. Listen, I have to end really soon. Unfortunately, it just kept on getting stun locked and stun locked. So we're just going through the basics, and I'm opening up the links. I'm going to have to read them off stream, unfortunately. I'm going to have to read the link right here because this statement here, I don't know if we can make. Oh, wait, hold on. This right here and this right here. There's like some qualifications that I would put on that, but like I think that like basically you're just laying it out right now. There's not very much opinion, and I'm just curious, what is turbulent Northern Triangle? What areas does this? Is it like Venezuela, Cuba, and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras? Okay, how did you do? Blah blah blah. Migration for the Northern Triangle fell under Trump. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Migration for the Northern Triangle fell under Trump just before 2020. Picked back up a little bit. Damn. It was pretty high for a while. I mean, if 2019, 2018, 2017, it was still pretty high under Trump. It is technically, that says today. Oh, this was a projection from 2019? Oh, wait, hold on. This just says youths. As for when immigration as a whole ticked up, it's hard to place the blame on Trump because it was literally the month Biden took office. It's hard to place blame on either, I guess, because both of them wouldn't have had time to do anything specifically. I mean, I think it would actually be easier to blame it on Trump because most policy issues take a couple of months. But again, I'm going to have to go through all the things here. But I think we could very easily get the exact opposite conclusion. 8:02. Okay, we still got a couple of minutes. Unfortunately, I can't read everything right now. Damn it. I think the Pew link. Okay, we'll look at the Pew link. Because I don't understand because this looks like it says today, and that's 2019, and then all of this is projections, but I don't know if any of that actually played out. April 2020. Shit shot up. Wait, is there a way to like zoom in on this? Not really. Damn. It would be, 1 second. Because if that's April 2020, that must be 2021. So like right after COVID or May of 19, I need to see what happened in May of 19. Because for some reason, right as COVID started, it started blowing the up. What happened after COVID that made it blow the up? Because this is when Biden would have taken office. Or like this tick right here, so slightly to the right of that first little thing there. I'll have to look at that. And what happened in June of last year? We'll have to look at some history. Literally the month Biden took office. No, wait, hold on. No, it wasn't. It started ticking up before January of 2021. Because this would be January of 2021 right there. Am I losing my mind? No, I'm not losing my mind. That's right. This is after he campaigned on having migrants and asylum seekers surge the border. We immediately surged the border. All those people, I would in fact make sure that there is. We immediately surged the border. All those people who are seeking asylum, they deserve to be heard. That's who we are. That's a stupid statement. I agree. Credible fear loophole? Oh, yeah. See, but like that's going to be part of my argument is that like the asylum system could pretty easily be fixed if there was any will behind it. And the closest thing that we've had to that was that bill. To my knowledge, it was that bill that got tanked, allegedly, although I think pretty substantive, like it's been substantiated that it was Donald Trump telling everybody, hey, no, we need this for the election. But I'm talking about, oh, this is just the Northern Triangle. I'm talking about refuting just the claim Biden made that this was Trump's fault. Okay, got you. For the policies at the border, and we can get into that subject, but blah, 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 blah. How do these countries have any people left? Guatemala is a very small country. Like, how many... Population of Guatemala. Like, I would assume it's like 1 or 2 million. Oh, 17.6 or 17.36 million. Okay, I didn't think that would be like nearly that much in such a small country. But okay. Maybe I have a very skewed idea of how small they are. I don't know. Until the DHS guy, his immigration policy. Wait. Oh. He's editing it in real time, guys. Oh no. Can you post a link for this one, Tyler? Damn, I'm gonna have to end in like 1 minute, unfortunately. Damn it. I really want to read the rest of this. And I have the ADD medicine to, like, the focus to do it too. But I have to end. I have things. Yeah, I'll Discord it. Thank you so much. Because it's interesting to me. Like, really quick, Tyler, because I don't have the discipline, okay? I don't have the discipline to do the things that you're doing here. I, like, make out... Otherwise, I would. It's not like because I respect the out of making a actual document. I just don't have the discipline. But like, basically my argument is like, outside of the Kamala Harris stuff, in terms of like policy that we should do at the border, there's one major thing that's holding us back, and that is the asylum law, which we are bound by international agreement to do, right? We have to have an asylum law. And that was done in 1965 as a result of, a lot of UN guilt over the Holocaust. Like, there were all these people trying to seek asylum in all these countries, and we turned them away because they were Jewish, and we sent them right back to Germany, and they went to the death camps. We should probably try not to make the same mistakes as before. And I think that the border policy and the asylum policy that we had for decades was working, but there was some critical point, like in the 2000s, where it obviously broke, right? People found loopholes, and people really needed to get the fuck out of Mexico and shit like that. And the asylum process is so unbelievably lax, where the only thing that we're bound by international, treaty to hold on to is have an asylum process, right? Yeah, there's no disagreement that we should accept and assess asylum claims, but the problem is nobody ever wants to actually fix the asylum process. And the closest thing that we had to that was that bill that was put forward in the Senate but was killed by Trump, right? DMG stats, thank you very much. I'm gonna have to go over them probably later tonight. But yeah, unfortunately, hey fellas and fellettes, if there are any femoids in chat, we are going to have to end. Unfortunately, I don't want to end. I want to read the rest of this, but I'm going to have to read the rest of it off stream. Damn it. The border document I sent you has both HR 2 and that Senate bill. Both of them address this problem. If you haven't checked out HR 2, that was the GOP bill to counter the Senate bill. See, what I want to know is, like, I looked at the provisions of that first bill, the Senate bill. It had so many concessions to conservatives. Like, it was written by a conservative from, I believe, a southern state. And they just axed it. And that could have helped so much. But, let's see. Who do we like on Twitch still? Who do we still like on Twitch? Oh, also, can someone tell me while I decide who we're going to raid into? Kid Not Kin. I've gone to that stream like 5 times to just like say hello to Kid, because we've had like 1 or 2 interactions that were positive, and it's always been his wife. Is his wife just take over his stream at this point? Is he done streaming? Yeah, absolutely. Catch you later, Tyler. Yeah, it would be People's Elbow, actually. I do think so. He streams at night. Who streams at night? Kid does? Okay. Yeah, I've just been curious because like every time I see, because they're always live, but I only ever see the wife. Okay, who are we raiding into? Let's raid into Endless Cemetery. No. Let's raid into Pisco. Kid Not Kin is very, very fragile. I don't have that much of an opinion on him outside of the very few interactions that we've had, but he seems like a chill dude. All right, we're raiding into Pisco, guys. I love you guys very much. This has been a fun one, but I unfortunately have to go. Tomorrow we'll be doing a debate on Wix stream about this topic. We went over everything about like what the topic was going to be, but unfortunately we didn't get to do the research. We'll do some more of that tomorrow, but until then, everybody be chill. Go smoke a bowl, have fun with your night, and be nice to Pisco. Love you guys.